6:04, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, Bree Lynn producing, broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros, not your IT provider, your IT partner. We're starting off your Friday morning at 53 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. You heard that forecast on the way in. We're 11 degrees higher than where we started yesterday. So spring rolling in. Did he say 9:47 a.m. is the official start time of spring?
Yes.
That
what
is
a weird time.
Remarkably specific. That is 9:47. Okay, I'm here for it. We'll be off the air by then. I'll be on my way to a meeting, but it's good to know when it happens.
I thought as soon as it hit midnight, first day of spring was here, but no.
That's what I thought as well.
9:47.
All right, here for it. We got a lot of ground to cover this morning. We got two mayors on the show today. There's a big police raise. Looks like a big police raise is on the way. So let's get to all of it. Top stories and trending. Let's go. Two people are in critical condition. One is headed to jail after a high-speed chase through Ascension Parish ended with driver Camille Anderson crashing into multiple cars. Wednesday afternoon, deputies responded to a call for help at a home in Prairieville where they found a woman stabbed in the neck. Officials say the suspect in that stabbing, Anderson, drove away, which is where the pursuit began. Before the eventual crash on Highway 44, crowds of onlookers pulled out cell phones and recorded the pandemonium. This chase is all over social media. I saw it 4 different times on TikTok.
Yes. Is that the man that was driving slow?
Because
and the whole rim blew out?
Yeah. Had the front driver's side tire was blown out. Yep, that's the one.
That. Yep.
That is the one. It was everywhere. A split panel of a federal appeals court said yesterday that a former Baton Rouge police officer injured during a protest after Alton Sterling's death in 2016 deserves his day in court. John Ford was hit by a rock-like object thrown by a person protesting Sterling's killing by a police officer outside of the Triple S store on North Foster Drive. Ford, who filed his initial lawsuit as John Doe, claims Black Lives Matter organizer D. Ray McKesson should be held accountable. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals agreed. The next phase of the I-10 widening and reconstruction project in downtown Baton Rouge is set to begin April 10th. Crews will widen the westbound lane of 10 and the southbound lane of I-110 as they go toward the new bridge. The work involves shifting I-10 lanes to the right and removing the guardrail on I-110. The right lane will be blocked. BRPD, refresh. Police arrested a woman who allegedly dragged another person down a road while holding onto them from her car. An arrest warrant for 24-year-old Deshani Williams says she met the two victims at the Woodlawn Acres Breck Park around 1:45 p.m. Documents say Williams was waving a gun saying, "I'm going to kill all y'all," before getting in a fight with one of the victims. The warrant says the other victim tried to intervene, was grabbed by Williams as she was driving out of the parking lot. Williams allegedly dragged the victim approximately the distance of 5 houses before the victim passed out. Baton Rouge police officers will receive at least a 15% pay increase under a proposal that East Baton Rouge Parish Mayor President Sid Edwards is sending to the Metro Council for a vote. If passed by the Metro Council, the pay increase would be the largest in the department's history, the mayor said.
Well, this morning brought some of the most intense strikes yet as Israel pounded Tehran.
Yeah, it's getting worse.
It's
got to get worse before it gets better, though, doesn't it? I mean,
I would think so.
Yeah, it's we're about to enter the 3rd week of this thing.
4th.
Oh, we're about to enter the 4th. Okay.
Yep.
Well, you remember President Trump, it was in an interview with Jake Tapper and said it'll probably last about 4 weeks.
Okay.
So I would imagine
the peak.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. Yeah, I'm guessing so.
Okay. Not sure how big of an Easter basket you'll need for this, but Costco is selling a 10-pound chocolate bunny. It's going to run you about $135.
A 10-pound?
A 10-pound chocolate. Let me see a picture.
I need to see a picture of this thing.
I don't know where on earth I would eat an Easter bunny this size.
Oh, no, challenge accepted for sure.
Hold on. Let's look at this. Oh, wow. Look at that with the ears.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You need a hammer to eat it. The
Oh
headline.
my God.
The headline says you need a hammer to eat it.
Oh my God. Oh, you want to hear something? When you do the math, that's 22,650 calories if you eat the whole thing.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Gosh, I can't even.
10 pounds worth of bunny.
10 pounds. Between my 3 boys, I can buy them one and they can split it.
It says $112.97. I'm guessing with tax that comes out to about $135.
Oh my gosh. Do you want a showstopper or an Instagram sensation?
Oh,
Lord. Okay, the White House has registered the web domain aliens.com, and everyone is speculating as to why.
No. Read that again.
Okay. The White House has registered the web domain aliens.com.
No. Did I put .com down there?
No, aliens.gov.
There you go.
Okay, hold on. We'll start all over. The White House has registered the web domain aliens.gov, and everyone is speculating as to why.
.gov makes it official. That's like .com. Anybody can do that.
I know.
Right? But
I think instinct. I was trying to throw in a .com, but
Sure.
.gov.
It's not up and running yet, but they've registered the domain. But I have no idea what this is all about.
Aliens.gov.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, I know. What's on the horizon here? This is a lot of speculation behind
We've
this
already seen all the videos of the, why am I drawing a blank? Oh, UFOs over the years. And with the world of TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, they're more prevalent now. But now I'm curious. Okay.
According to the New York Post, that's where we're going to start with this one. And I know it's New York Post. The White House URL, the eyebrow-raising domain name, aliens.gov, has been added to the federal government's official website registry, amplifying speculation that President Trump could be gearing up to pull back the curtain on what U.S. intelligence agencies really know about whether or not we're alone in the universe. So
I don't think we're alone.
No.
I'm not trying to go down the rabbit hole, but I'm here for it. Let's go.
It's a big universe. I'm sure there's somebody else out there.
Yep.
611 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We're due up for a quick break. Before we take that break, though, every day we broadcast from the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros, not your IT provider, your IT partner. If you visit 180pros.com, you'll learn a heck of a lot more about what they do over at 180 Pros. And first thing you're going to learn, right across the top of the page, it says get up to 20% off this month when you partner with us. Awesome. Let's start right there. And that 20% off is going to be on a simplified invoice. Simplified billing is one of the many things they offer, but making sure that you are secure, making sure that you are maintained, continually up and running. And if you're not, same day response time. They make sure that everything that your business is doing online does not, if it gets disconnected, they're here to help. They specialize with small to mid-sized businesses, and that's kind of important to the partnership as well, because when you need them, you don't need them coming back saying we're with some big boy and you can just wait in line. No, visit 180pros.com or call them at 330-2200. Of course, it's 225 because they're local. 330-2200 for 180 Pros. All right, we got LSU baseball posted up a big win against the top 10 team. We got March Madness is in full madness gear. We got a lot of ground to cover coming up next. You got that video I sent you?
Well, the audio of it.
Okay. honestly don't know where to begin sports. So much going on. Men's basketball, March Madness underway yesterday. My bracket 14-2 on day one. No big deal. Baseball puts up a win against Oklahoma to start off the series the right way. Sid Edwards with a remarkable performance on the bump. Tell you what, let's push baseball back to the next segment. We're going to go ahead and start off with LSU women's basketball instead. A 2 seed in the tournament. LSU women's basketball begins their national title run tonight. Hopefully, national title run tonight. Lady Tigers are facing 15th seed Jacksonville, 5 p.m. Tonight is the first NCAA tournament appearance for 4 LSU freshmen. Now, for senior Flau'jae Johnson, she is competing in her 4th and final NCAA tournament. Says she's offering as much advice as possible to the younger players. Cut 16.
Trying to just get everybody to focus on one game at a time. Let's not look too far ahead. Even though it's enticing, even though social media and all this, don't think too far ahead and just stay focused on the task at hand. Trying to just get everybody to focus on one.
See if that repeat button got clicked. Yep. It happened to me yesterday. So, in each of LSU's last 4 deep NCAA tournament runs, the Tigers receive consistent production from their post players. This year's team might not have an Angel Reese nor an Anissa Morrow, but Johnson says the Bigs are embracing the challenge of elevating their play in the postseason.
They really like taking on that responsibility, and their focus has been unmatched these last 2 practices. Kate, Mama, Z, and Grace, they've really been turning it up a notch, and I think that they know that we need them, and I think that they know that we're counting on them. So telling them like we need them, but knowing that we're confident in y'all, that y'all can do this.
And the there's no reason not to be confident. I mean, the point spread definitely spells that out. We'll get to that in just a quick second. If LSU beats Jacksonville tonight, they'll face the winner of Texas Tech and Villanova on Sunday. The game would also mark the final time that Flau'jae Johnson plays in Baton Rouge. If they make, Sunday will hopefully mark the final time she plays in Baton Rouge. Head coach Kim Mulkey says it'll be an emotional night and is encouraging LSU fans to show their appreciation for everything Johnson has meant to this program. Cut 18.
She took a chance on LSU before this staff ever won big. She's the first McDonald's All-American that I signed at LSU, and she deserves this place to be just packed.
When the line on this game opened, I believe it opened at 44.5. LSU was a 44.5 point favorite. They are now a 51.5 point favorite. That is such a stupid number. But nonetheless, that is a big gap right there. But, it is March, and it is based on madness, so you don't know what's coming, and hopefully the Tigers can take care of business. So the game itself, we are your home for LSU women's basketball, yes, but the game itself has to move for this evening. They'll be on 100.7 The Tiger right here on Talk 107.3 FM. We will have LSU softball. Eagle 98.1 will have baseball tonight as well, which baseball we'll get to in just a quick second. Actually, you know what? We'll get to baseball and March Madness right after this. Here's the Fox Business Report. And good morning, Christy.
John Bell got an award. You saw that? Not John Bell, George Bell. He got an award yesterday.
United Way?
Uh-huh.
What are you getting an award for?
Being recognized with the John W. Barton Senior Excellence and Nonprofit Management Award at the Baton Rouge Area Foundation annual meeting. Oh.
That's pretty cool.
Look at him. Oh, that's a fancy award.
Start you off on the interstates. Normally we have a slow start to a Friday morning when it comes to I-12 specifically, and looking like we're on that pace right now. It's weird. Monday through Thursday we've got congestion 12 westbound and range. Friday we do not. So I guess everybody's sleeping in just a little bit. Now you will find a little congestion as you approach the 10-12 merge, like say from Drusilla up to the merge. Going to be a little bit slower going. That's the only problem I'm seeing on the interstates right now. 10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish looks good. 10 eastbound coming back from West Baton Rouge looks good as well. On your surface streets, there's only one thing to look out for, and it just happened a minute ago. There's an accident in the roadway, still in the roadway right now. Airline at Plank Road. So I guess it's way up by 110, huh? The big loop arounds. Airline at Plank Road is where we're showing an accident being worked. BRPD, I believe, is already on the scene, but it is still on the road. So be on the lookout for that. That's the only blip on the radar when it comes to traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. FlyBTR.com is the Baton Rouge Metro Airport's website, FlyBTR.com. Reduce that stress level when you are traveling and make sure you help out a local business in our own backyard. FlyBTR.com. I give you the website because that's where you're going to want to start. When you plug in your departure date, your destination, departure date, arrival date, they will help you out along the way, matching you up with a flight. If you wanted to scroll down just a little bit, just to get a look at how things are normally running, you can see all the arrivals and departures for the day. For example, the first two departures this morning have already landed at their destinations. The next two departures of the morning are on their way right now. Dallas, Fort Worth has already gotten there. Houston's already gotten there. DC heading to DCY is en route. Atlanta's en route. Charlotte's up next. They're scheduled for a 7:08 a.m. takeoff, and they are on as scheduled. On the arrival side, well, we don't get anybody into town quite this early, but coming up a little bit later on in the morning, there's no delays showing right now. Everything is running smoothly, which you're not going to find at all the airports around the nation, especially right now with the partial governmental shutdown. It's business as usual out at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. So before we get to LSU baseball, let's go ahead and give a quick look at March Madness. I want your comments over on Facebook Live, where we are live every single day. Want your comments in the chat, if we could, please. How much did you watch yesterday? How's your bracket looking? And what really stood out the most to you? I gotta tell you, everybody's high on High Point. It was a 12/5 yesterday as High Point topped Wisconsin 83-82, and the game was everything that it was supposed to have been. Everything it was billed as. From a Louisiana perspective, McNeese fell short yesterday, 78-68. They lost to Vanderbilt. You had a couple of 11s advance. You had a couple of 10s advance. High Point was the biggest upset of the day. I mean, you had two 16s give a 1 all they could handle. Siena was playing Duke, who's my national champion, by the way. Siena playing Duke, and they had an 11-point lead at halftime. And when you dug into the numbers, it looked like they had no rotations whatsoever. They just left their starters out there for the full 20 minutes. You know that wasn't sustainable. So either when Siena went to the bench or their legs gave out, Duke was going to take over. Duke did take over and pulls out the win. Meanwhile, Howard, a 16 seed, was trailing Michigan by just 4. I was listening to that game on our sister station 104.5 on my way home from the gym. Howard was just on a ridiculous run in the first half. Well, before it's all said and done, they ended up getting blown out 101-80. Down by 4 at halftime, and then the inevitable took over after that. So March Madness off to just an absolutely blistering start. A lot of fun on day 1. We are stacked up for a lot more fun on day 2. Meanwhile, over at Alec Box Stadium, Kason Evans puts together 15 strikeouts as LSU beats Oklahoma 7-1 to open the 3-game series. Here was strikeout number 10 for Evans.
Pitch number 66, and it's a swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks here to start the top of the 5th. That is strikeout number 10 for Kason Evans.
He would go on to have 15. I would have had the highlight for the 15th lined up for you, but it was one where the catcher drops the ball on the third strike and has to throw it down. So it wasn't the greatest of calls. Blair's always got the good call. You know, you want the good call. Chris Blair on the LSU Sports Radio Network right there. At the bat, though, if you're breaking down the box score, LSU scored 7 runs on just 7 hits. This is twice now this week where they've scored 7 runs on 7 hits. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to turn my nose up to a 7-1 conference win against a top 10 team ever. But I'd be hard pressed to be convinced that the bats have been fixed when you look at 7 hits on the whole night, and no home runs. There were 2 doubles on the night. Biggest run producer was Cade York, who drove in 2 on this single.
For Pearson and York, the base hit.
Sack.
Little bloop single into shallow center field. That's going to score Cerna, and it will score Patrick. Tigers now lead 7-1. Zach York adds a couple of RBI on the season, and with 1 out. Welcome to the box, Nate Smithberg.
I don't think we're ever going to get past like calling him Cade York. LSU's former place kicker, right? It just embedded in the brain already. My bad, Zach York. Sorry about that. Game 2 will be tonight, also in Alec Box Stadium. 6:30 is your first pitch tonight. 6 o'clock will be your start time over on Eagle 98.1. We got news, we got traffic, we got weather. When we come back, have we seen the first economic development project bail on Louisiana because of carbon capture? We've got some audio from inside the Commerce Committee yesterday, and LED is going to do their best to salvage this, but it looks like, well, you say no to CCS, and Texas says yes, and, well, they're going to get the money. They're going to get the dollars. They're going to get the jobs. They're going to get the prosperity. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Hey, before we get you to news at the bottom of the hour, I want to remind you about One Bath and Closets. David Duvall and his team at One Bath and Closets. Masterful work. I speak very highly of David and his team because I've had them in my house. Me and Christy, we said, you know what? For our Christmas present last year, we were going to get a new master bathroom, and that's exactly what we did. Moved out to 2 vanities from the old one, improved the lighting greatly, maximized the space like you wouldn't believe, and we have this awesome walk-in shower. And David was there every step of the way, making sure that we were happy with the decisions that we were making sure that if we wanted to add anything, move anything, it was done. Visit onebathandclosets.com or call 400-8005 for One Bath and Closets. Is ABC News not there? You what? Why wouldn't it have been in program 1?
And I'm just now looking at it.
Well, is it there? Put it in queue?
It's there.
Yeah. All right.
It's there. I'm just gonna have to look at the board. Like, just know they're coming on Thursday.
For now, unless softball has a Thursday game.
I should study the board anyways, but particularly after Thursday.
Yeah.
We have the rest of it. Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Renee.
Joe. Is Adobe Photo?
Snakes and sparklers are the only ones I like. Well, that might be the problem. It's not what you like, it's the consumer.
Yeah, but Alan, if you think about it, we always have that one last cool front that comes in before Easter.
Yeah.
And so, because he's like going to be 70 here today. I think how high here today? Like 91?
81.
81.
And good morning, Christy. Welcome in, boo.
Oh, we were wrong, 946.
We're off by a minute.
I wonder if he had to recut that because it wasn't like that.
I don't know. Was it? I don't know.
I think we said 47. Now it's like, doesn't matter. It's a very, very specific time.
Have the audio from the Commerce Committee queued up first. I'll go to Joe Dirt later.
Okay.
Or like later in the segment. .636 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Let me before we go move any further, let me apologize to everyone profusely. I am so sorry, y'all. Oh my goodness gracious. Spring starts at 9:46, not 9:47.
We kept saying
We
947.
said 9:47 earlier. You almost missed a full minute of spring because of the inaccuracies of this show. I'm so sorry.
I think there's enough pollen to make up for it.
I'm glad we were able to get it corrected more than 3 hours before the exact time. So you make plans accordingly. Whatever you were planning on doing at 9:47 for the start of spring, please now adjust that to 9:46 if you can.
So what do we do?
If it's not too late.
Stand outside and
I don't
sneeze?
know. I don't know. It's such a yeah, you heard in the weather in the forecast right there, Balin doing an awesome job as always, but pointing out that spring begins at 9:46 a.m.
47.
No,
46.
Golly, I'm trying to clean this up, Breland. Oh my word! All right, let's get back on track real quick. In 1970, the population of Houston, Texas, was just over 1 million people. The population of New Orleans was just at 600 or just under 600,000. 593,000 and change. Today, the population of Houston, Texas is 2.5 million. The population of New Orleans is 390,000. Now, I'm not going to attribute all of those numbers to poor economic decisions, but you can contribute some of those numbers to poor economic decisions, poor tax decisions, poor governmental decisions on multiple fronts, not just on the taxing front. The overall business climate that we set up in the state legislature sets the table for companies to make up their minds where they want to go, where they want to locate, where they want to place jobs that employ people, jobs that make sure the house down the street for you is sold and not up for sale. The things that happen in our state legislature have consequences. And carbon capture right now is an unbelievably hot button issue. And we're starting to see that move from a hot button issue to a topic of conversation in the Capitol. Earlier this week, Paige Carter from Louisiana's Economic Development Department was testifying in front of the Commerce Committee. You're going to hear State Representative Desatel, and then eventually you're going to hear State Representative Chuck Owen as well, as they're talking about carbon capture. Now, when we talk about carbon capture, you have to remember this isn't something that Louisiana is talking about doing just for the sake of doing. It's tied to so many other things that companies are basing their decisions on. Here was Paige Carter in the Commerce Committee.
Unfortunately, at LED, we had a transformational project that had cited a final location in Beauregard Parish. And this represented a multi-billion-dollar investment with hundreds of jobs that, unfortunately, the confidential client we were working with decided to pull out of that final site selection decision due to a lack of confidence around CCUS, because the bioenergy feed really required CCUS to be economically viable once those products got to Europe and Asia. So we are actively trying to compete for that project still, but unfortunately, rather than being the front runner with a transformational opportunity for Beauregard Parish, we are now at the very front stages of hoping to be able to cite that type of multi-billion-dollar asset in another parish within Louisiana.
Was Beauregard one of the parishes that opposed, did their ordinance that they didn't want carbon capture in the parish?
Representative Owen?
Yes, they were.
Mhm.
Okay. So that cost them
Yeah,
$2 billion, $3 billion,
$2 billion.
You said multi, I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Mhm. It's around a $2 billion figure.
Hundreds of jobs.
Hundreds of jobs, yeah.
Avoyles has not done that yet. And we have a port, by the way. It's 1,000 acres. It's on the river, and we have rail.
This is key. Yeah.
So just throwing it out there in case you didn't know, Mr. Stelly. Just reminding you.
Yeah.
What would $2 billion do for the Beauregard Parish economy? Not to mention, over 100 jobs, paying a median salary that's well above the state's median salary. This discussion, as it continues to heat up, and those that are against carbon capture, I understand. I understand you've read things on the internet. I get that. And the things you've read on the internet make you scared. But ask yourself this. Why are the folks of Texas lining up to grab these projects from us? Why, when we got all the rights to do everything out front when it comes to drilling wells and securing and sequestering the carbon, the CO2, the air that we exhale, when we got all those rights lined up, all those pieces of the puzzle were lined up for us, and then we want to push pause, and we want to hesitate, and we want to have moratoriums, and we want to have carve-outs for parishes. Why is it that Texas, instead of doing what we're doing, is saying, bring it the hell on. Bring it to us. We want your billions of dollars. We want your thousands of jobs. I don't understand why we decide to say, I don't want to play ball. Why we decide to say, well, I read something bad about carbon capture on the internet. I didn't speak to a geologist about the sandstone and the shale that's underneath us, the 2 miles underneath our feet. We're talking about the water that goes 12 feet deep, not the shale that's 2 miles beneath that. We don't talk about that we talk about, I read something on the internet and now I don't want it. And we have carve-outs parish by parish. And it's the mere uncertainty that a business can do business here. The mere uncertainty that they will be able to do what they set out to do. And businesses don't get into business to fail. If they didn't think they were succeeding with this, they wouldn't be investing in it. No one builds out a new plant. No one builds out a new factory. No one builds out anything with the intention of it folding in 5 years. And by the way, these are companies that know what they're doing. They have a proven track record. These aren't startups. These aren't entrepreneurs who are just tired of the sales gig, so I'm going to drop off the cliff. These are companies that have been around for decades, if not hundreds of years. And we, just like we did when it came to oil and gas, just like we did on that front, it's looking more and more like we're going to put our foot in the dirt, put our foot in the sand, and say, not here, I won't have that in my backyard. If you ask ChatGPT, which is what I did this morning, why did oil and gas companies leave New Orleans for Houston? Well, the AI overview says oil and gas companies moved from New Orleans to Houston primarily for a more business-friendly legal environment, a robust industry ecosystem, and to avoid natural disaster risks. Now, I can't do anything about the natural disaster risks, right? Katrina was Katrina. And we're going to have hurricanes from time to time. But damn it, so does Houston. And yet they're thriving over there. The oil and gas industry is thriving over there. So when we're at the state capitol, and I mean Louisianans and those that represent us in that big building over there, when we are over at the state capitol, maybe instead of thinking about what we want, maybe instead of thinking about what we read on the internet, maybe we should, I don't know, take the sage advice of Joe Dirt.
Well, that might be your problem. It's not what you like. It's the consumer.
Exactly. We can't go around basing our economy selling snakes and sparklers. We need the good stuff, man. I'm not going to do the litany of all the fireworks, which was a great scene, by the way. But if Texas gets it, if Joe Dirt gets it, why don't we get it? One project already packed up, looking to move, based simply off the uncertainty, based off the fact that we can't commit. I don't want to see history repeat itself. I really don't. We have the opportunity with carbon capture to get the greatest mulligan out there. Everything that we screwed up in the 70s and 80s, we could turn back around and say, I'm going to take a drop. I'm going to take a drop. I'm just going to hit it from here, all right? One mulligan per 9, right? All right. There's going to be a lot more on the carbon capture front coming up within the next week, possibly 2, and we're going to be all over it. Look, unapologetic. I'm a fan. I listen to the geologists. I listen to the scientists. I listen to those who know the chemistry. So more on that as it evolves. Hey, before we take our break. Oh, and on the back end, we're going to talk coastal restoration. Simone Maloz is going to join us after Your Money Now. Got to remind you about Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is their website. LandmarkBankLA.com, a community bank since 1897. Been here for your community the entire time. If you go to LandmarkBankLA.com, hit the About Us tab, a little drop-down menu pops up. Find the locations. If you see a Landmark Bank in your community, couldn't recommend them any higher. Because when you have a banker, you have someone who can work with you to achieve your wants, needs, dreams, and desires. You have a banker who is going to care when you open your kid's first checking or savings account. Can you imagine anybody in Midtown Manhattan giving a good gosh darn when you're putting a couple $100 into account for your kid to start to learn how to save and to grow their own finances the right way? They care at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com. I was supposed to do that. We were supposed to do some on-air stuff yesterday, weren't we? Yesterday got so far ahead of me. That's fine. That's fine. I'm good with it.
You can give a shout out if you want that.
Yeah.
Here, let me write this down. I'll just text you.
Are you serious? Jesus H. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Kate's going, I'm going, Ellen's going. There's a few other of us going.
If I could bring my kids, I'd go.
I don't think I have a sitter for tomorrow night, but
I don't know. It's probably too bougie for my kids. I mean, it's not like a chicken nugget sort of thing.
yeah, it's like you wear a dress or a button down for the men. You know, like it's nothing you like.
Yeah. If it were like a Taste of Tiger tailgating, I'd go.
All right, that's what I put up on the comments.
We'll do that during Top Stories and Trending in the 7 o'clock hour.
Top 107.3. Yes, ma'am. We're going to come to you in about 1 minute, okay? All right, thank you. 1 minute. We still got to get to your money now.
What?
Oh, this thing football Pete.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah, somebody brought it back. I bet you somebody borrowed it, but
Sure.
at least they brought it back. Shit, because that don't happen here. I was gonna go walk in the halls this morning and see if I could find it.
Oh, my stomach's inside out this morning.
Mine too. I woke up this morning, I wasn't feeling the best. I'm like,
I'm catching hell for the. No. My day has been ruined thanks to your inaccuracies of spring. My buddy Wolf giving me shit.
not to sound retarded though, but how did they even find a time? Like, does it have to do with the equator and the tilting?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. That's how they found the time.
.652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We have news from the coast, or I should say, we have news of the coast. Would be more to the point. A new poll out talking about coastal restoration and decisions being made. It's a new comprehensive statewide poll that was released yesterday, finding Louisiana voters overwhelmingly want greater transparency and accountability in how coastal restoration's decisions and funding are handled. Joining us now to talk about this, we got Simone Maloz on the hotline. Simone, good morning. Welcome aboard. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for responding so quickly to such a late request. I was looking for audio. I was just going to pull sound bites. I was like, hey, any chance someone might be available? So big props to you for shifting on the fly to be on with us this morning.
It's an important subject, so I wanted to be on in person to answer any questions that you might have.
Well, I got a few. What's hot in the poll?
Yeah. So what yesterday we released a statewide poll, and we wanted to take the temperature of how folks are feeling about the coast, about the coastal program, and about the future. They had some really big changes last year and over the past couple of years. And so we wanted to go directly to these coastal communities to talk to people about it. But it's not always just about the coast here in Louisiana. So we wanted to make sure that we were talking to voters across Louisiana. So we talked to North Louisiana as well. And not surprisingly, overwhelmingly, they want to know how much money is being invested in the coast. They want to know how much money it has been spent, and they definitely have a preference on the type of projects that they want.
Let's talk about that preference, because I find that answer in particular a little bit surprising. Did I see that 76% of respondents opposed the governor's decision to cancel the sediment diversion projects?
So those were some of the major decisions that happened last year. For over 10 years, they have been working towards this major sediment diversion that happened in Plaquemines Parish. But really, Brian, that's always been part of coastal plans for decades and decades before that. Next year, 1927, it was a milestone anniversary, and next year we'll celebrate 100 years since that decision of that great flood of the Mississippi River, and we decided to levy that. By making that choice, which we knew had consequences, we cut off those basins from freshwater and sediment. So since then, we've known that we need the power of the river to help our coast for restoration and protection purposes. And people of Louisiana understand that. And so we were talking about them in those communities for a long while. They supported that project. More importantly, they supported this science-based coastal master plan. And that's not fun and sexy to talk about, but that is a really important lesson that we learned after Hurricane Katrina and Rita, is that we needed a plan and we needed to think big to match the problems on our coast.
And share it all with the public, who was a big part of the sentiment as well.
Absolutely. So that was a big part of that conversation after Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. Frankly, sometimes we needed the people of the coast to help pay for some of these projects. They're not always free. You know that. These projects cost billions of dollars, and there's cost shares by local communities, et cetera. But Brian, most importantly, this affects people's everyday lives. People think it affects their insurance costs, their future risk against hurricanes, et cetera. And they deserve to know about the billions of dollars that are being invested to protect them, to protect their future. And I don't think that's an unreasonable ask.
No, same. Public transparency is always important. The understanding behind the transparency, it's not just a matter of showing the numbers, but understanding what it takes to get those numbers done. Simone Maloz, our guest from Restore the Mississippi River Delta. When I say that, I mean more to the point. Like when you talk about a sediment diversion project, there's a drop-off point where if you're going to spend under that point, it's kind of a waste of time.
Yes, so we say it all the time, and it's more than just a catchphrase. There is just no time to lose. So we spent time planning. We spent time getting all the proper permits and permissions. And those sediment diversions were underway, under construction, and the administration decided to stop that and not move forward. So now what, Brian? Now what? The people want to know what's next, and they know that we can't take another 10 years to plan. They know what's at stake here in coastal Louisiana, and they know that they need big solutions to match the problems that we face here in coastal Louisiana. And that was, frankly, a little bit of a surprise to us that people, it didn't matter how much a project cost. They said that they preferred bigger long-term projects over smaller, cheaper projects. And so, Brian, I think that's a little bit of a lesson of like and maybe this is the wrong analogy, but the give a man a fish or teach a man to fish. They know that this money has to be invested for the long term. This may be the only shot that we have to invest money like this in the window that we have right now.
We got Simone Maloz for just another minute and a half. For those that don't understand what a sediment diversion project does, it might not be as appealing to the eye as some other coastal restoration projects, or even as visible to the eye as some others. But talk to me in this next 60 seconds about the benefits of sediment diversion versus other opportunities.
Yeah, so sediment diversion is really capturing the power of the river, that fresh water, that sediment, and putting it in the basins that it's been disconnected from. There are other types of river reconnections, like in the Maurepas area, that's just fresh water. And that area needs that injection of fresh water right there. But really, Brian, overall, the long-term solution for coastal Louisiana is absolutely connected to the Mississippi River.
Where can folks go to learn more about this? You'll have all these, the poll and everything posted up, correct?
We do. We have some great information on our website, MississippiRiverDelta.org, and we're on all the socials, usually at Restore Delta.
She is Simone Maloz with Restore the Mississippi River Delta. I want to get you back on very soon to take a little bit of a deeper dive, but I wanted to at least a quick hit to get the highlights of the survey, and I appreciate you doing so. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
I look forward to a regular date. Thanks, Brian.
Absolutely. Yeah, we need to. It's not, the survey is soundbite friendly. The science, not so much. So we have room to run. We'll give her some room to run on the show. Yeah, we're definitely going to pick up that conversation later on. Right now, though, we're coming up on the top of the hour. In our second hour of the show, Central's Mayor Wade Evans going to join us. Kelly Schulz from Nolan Company also on board. Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about Alan's comment. Such a poor argument. Just because somebody else does something, we should do it. No. I knew that was going to be the response. So let me follow it up with 40 years worth of economic development, 40 years worth of prosperity versus 40 years being mired in shit. When you to not have the ability to look to someone else and say they're doing it right and I'm doing it wrong, to not have that level of humility. It's just that is hubris, is what that is. That in the Greek tragedies, you are the fallen character due to hubris. And so, how many times have we, throughout the course of New Orleans and Houston, looked at these disparities? And when you say, "Where are all the jobs, man?" Well, they went over there because of that. Because of. I'm not doing something just because somebody else is doing it. I'm doing it because we've seen the history and we know what the repercussions are. And if you know what the repercussions are and you don't correct course for the next time, then that's your own level of insanity. And I don't want the insanity. I want the jobs. I want the tax base. I want our schools funded. I want our police to get pay raises. All that is based off of economic development that is tied to carbon capture. And if you're going to try to separate the two and say, no, I don't want it here, not in my backyard, Houston's going to say, please, bring it on. Put this in my backyard. We'll build a fifth downtown for Houston. We'll build another Baytown. And we'll just be left without a bag to hold. Anyway, I'm hot about that topic.
Interrupt your rant to get a photo of you.
Oh, sure.
Hang on, hold them up.
Well, this is.
I know it's last year.
Oh, well, I'm gonna hold the new one.
All right, now hold both of them up.
Well, no, because it's not this year.
Okay.
I posted last year's last year.
Sure.
I thought you were filming the rant.
I was.
All right. Let me go open the door. The air that we exhale.
Right, and injecting it two miles down when the crust is 40 miles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Or you, yeah. Lake Maurepas, 12 feet.
I joke with them. I thought it'd be fun to swim in the effervescent lake.
Well,
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Likewise. All right, which name's
7:05, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. We've dipped down to 51 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. Is it time for your IT to do a 180? Visit 180pros.com. Central's Mayor Wade Evans going to be in with us. Well, he's already in with us, but he's going to be joining us for the conversation in our next segment. He's a little bit pissed at FEMA right now, so I figured put a microphone in front of him. What could go wrong? Also this hour, Kelly Schulz from Nolan Company. Heads up for next hour, State Senator Rick Edmonds is going to join us at 8:05 with a little legislative update. I know we're only 2 weeks in, but there's plenty of movement right now. Also next hour, we were slated to have Mayor President Sid Edwards. He has had a bit of a pivot to his morning schedule. So former Police Chief Jeff LaDuff is going to join us, which is going to be a great conversation. A, because he always is. And B, if police are getting a 15% pay raise, I want to talk about it. Also next hour, I don't know that we've ever had a gas station on for Foodie Friday, but we're doing that today.
I'm going to say, that food's going to be good.
Look, there aren't many states that could say the best food you're going to find is at a gas station.
Right.
Here in Louisiana, we can. David's is coming by. So we had a little double dip of Central today. Wade Evans and David's, right? All right. Top stories and trending. Let's go. Two people are in critical condition. One is headed to jail after a high-speed chase through Ascension Parish ended with the driver, Camille Anderson, crashing into multiple cars. Wednesday afternoon, deputies responded to a call for help at a home in Prairieville where they found a woman stabbed in the neck. Officials say the suspect in that stabbing, Anderson, drove away. That's where the pursuit began before the eventual crash on Highway 44. Crowds of onlookers pulled out cell phones, recorded the pandemonium. That chase is all over social media right now. Let's go right back to Central. Grabbing this one from our news partners at WBRZ. This just popped up. Residents in Central might notice a large presence of emergency response. You might have to go, Mayor. A large presence of emergency response vehicles, including ambulances and state police troopers at Central High School this morning. No, you don't have to go. It's part of a mock crash simulation teaching students about the dangers of impaired and distracted driving. So, all right, there is no emergency.
Yeah, I'm heading there after this.
You tightened up quick.
I got Air Med waiting on me.
A split panel of a federal appeals court said yesterday that a former Baton Rouge police officer injured during a protest after Alton Sterling's death in 2016 deserves his day in court. John Ford was hit by a rock-like object thrown by a protester during that period. Ford, who filed the initial lawsuit as John Doe, claims that Black Lives Matter organizer D. Ray McKesson should be held accountable, and the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals agreed with him. The next phase of the I-10 widening and reconstruction project in downtown Baton Rouge is set to begin on April 10th. Crews will widen the westbound lane of I-10 and the southbound lane of 110 as they go towards the new bridge. The work involves shifting the I-10 lanes to the right and removing the guardrail on I-110, the right lane will be blocked. Baton Rouge police officers will receive at least a 15% pay increase under a proposal that East Baton Rouge Parish Mayor President Sid Edwards is sending to the Metro Council for a vote. If it passes the Metro Council, the pay increase would be the largest in the department's history. We're going to talk about this with former Chief LaDuff next hour. What you got, Breland?
This morning brought some of the most intense strikes yet as Israel pounded Tehran.
So we're in the it's going to get worse before it gets better phase, and the reaction from Iran is probably going to intensify as well. We talked about Qatar yesterday. I want to say Kuwait is in there as well. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of retaliation that just looks like arms flailing, like retaliation without rhyme nor reason.
You know, I have a feeling that yes, we're seeing the peak right now, but give it like maybe another week or two, I think it's going to wrap up quick.
Well, that's the president said in an interview with Jake Tapper. 4 weeks was the goal. 4 weeks was the goal. So I'm reserving judgment for those 4 weeks. Once we get past that goal, if it's still going on, you have to start asking some questions.
Right. Not sure how big of an Easter basket you'll need for this, but Costco is selling that 10-pound chocolate bunny. It's going to run you about $135.
So it looks awesome.
This thing's huge.
It's adorable, by the way. It's so cute. I would. So you apparently need a hammer to get at it. Like it's like thick.
So it's not hollow.
Right.
It's
a 10-pound chocolate bunny.
And a brief description of Monjero.
Not to mention any kind of diabetes medication you might need as well.
Diabetes. Look, I think I said it was 22,000 something calories if you ate the whole thing. Yeah. Holy smokes.
That's a good day.
The White House has registered the web domain aliens.gov, and everyone is speculating as to why.
Was reading up on this. We have nothing behind it. Nothing behind it. So are we about to find out that we're not alone? Is that about to happen?
I always felt that we weren't alone.
Well, of course you felt it, but once it's confirmed, you're talking about a whole different game. I need the little Men in Black flashy thingy. I need somebody to flashy thingy me.
E.T.
It was swamp gas. That's what I saw.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like E.T. Is he gonna come down?
E.T.?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He's been here.
I'm sure. All right, here's the thing. All right, let's put this poll question up. Facebook Live, I want your we're having a little fun on a Friday. Facebook Live, I want your feedback on this one. And by the way, we're always on Facebook Live, courtesy of Lake Urgent Care. Want your feedback on this one real quick, okay? Who do you think got it right when it comes to depicting aliens? Did E.T. get it right? What about Signs with Mel Gibson? Remember those aliens?
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Or is it more like Men in Black, where there's probably like 50 different kinds already here?
I think Rosenwald got it right.
Rosenwald got it right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the ones that saw him.
You're forgetting
That's
something.
where they found him.
Roswell.
Or is it more War of the Worlds, where they're coming in and they're... Remember that movie, War of the Worlds?
I didn't see it.
Okay. Where they come in and basically take over all of Earth. And it's like this brutal just...
So, backstory, War of the Worlds was originally a radio play.
I remember hearing about that. Okay.
The panic that it caused nationwide because people thought it was real. We aired War of the Worlds in its entirety one Halloween, and we got calls.
Let's do it again.
That's what I'm here for.
Yep.
Let's go. 712 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Before we take our next break, I want to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust. Neurojust.com is the website, Neurojust. Who's Neurojust for? Anybody who's battling anxiety or depression who has been treatment resistant. And when you talk about depression, don't think about like full-on depression. There are levels of anxiety and depression that you might be unaware of. You might just be coping without knowing it. We had a guy on 2 weeks ago who had driving anxiety, like tense up over a bridge, couldn't merge into traffic, would lose sleep the night before if he knew he had to drive a distance. It's very real, and you can put your mind at peace. Transcranial magnetic stimulation is what they specialize in. It targets the areas of the brain that affect mood. And when you look at treating anxiety or depression, there's a million prescriptions out there. But think about it like if you have, I don't know, pain in your knee. Are you going to get physical therapy, or do you just want to keep popping pills? This is more physical therapy for the brain. And oh, by the way, your insurance picks up the tab. Learn more at neurojust.com. Quick break. Mayor Wade Evans is next.
All right.
Oh, we didn't do the winners.
Oh.
Of
Southern Palette. We're giving away tickets to Southern Palette.
all right,
That first time thing that LSU are putting on at the Schulz Center.
let's roll with it.
30 chefs are going to be out there.
You can mix it up,
Selling
add to it, baby.
bougie stuff.
Like not just
Nice. Yeah. I don't know how much we raised last night for the Shield of Hope, but it was a good event.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Chase Tyler playing?
Yeah, he
I
did.
thought so.
Yeah, I got a great picture of Chase when he had his arms up singing and Capel in the background.
Aw, he's always good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. I was the only mayor there. I'm the only mayor at a lot of these things. Like, guys, get involved. Let's move the needle.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
would be nice.
let's change the world.
I'll give Sid credit, though. He shows up for a lot more stuff than his predecessor.
Oh, of course.
And so
He looks like Bernie Mac.
no, he just sneaks out.
He's just trying to be a normal guy.
Well, yeah, where are Baker and Zachary at?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think Zachary just doesn't want to be bothered.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can exist in your bubble, but
I think that's kind of where they're at.
Success requires you to be involved. It takes a village to have a great parish.
Yeah. And when you have 5 cities in said parish, you can't
Yeah.
pretend anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm I'm the lead of the families. 5 families. I told Laura she changed the name of the BRAC to the partnership.
Yeah.
To fit the families.
Called the commission.
Yeah.
Got a text earlier this week from Central's Mayor Wade Evans. He says, I got some things to say about FEMA. I said, let's go.
Oh,
Let's
easy
go.
now.
Well, look, if it's what's going on in the parish, it's what we're going to talk about on this show.
Amen.
And that's exactly why I wanted you in here. So give me the rundown. Tell me what's going on and what has sparked you this morning.
Well, just the uncertainty. You know, we received notice that there's some questions about the CRS rating, and I'm already frustrated because we do all this work to make our city more resilient, which is great, but we do it not only to help our citizens, but to lower our flood insurance premiums. Mm-hmm. And, we had this big fanfare when we got to a 7, then we got to a 5 and with our CRS, and there's going to be this 25% savings. And, FEMA comes out with this press release for us to send out. And then lo and behold, it turns out that discount will only apply once our citizens hit the maximum rate in FEMA 2.0. So everybody who was excited, including myself, that we were going to get lower flood insurance premiums, we found out that our flood insurance premiums actually went up because we're not at our maximum yet, which is very frustrating.
And the community rating system is a voluntary program, is it not?
It is for communities to take part in. But, with FEMA 2.0, the rates went up so bad, we're going to do everything we can locally to help bring those premiums back down for our citizens. The side effect is good drainage because we dig a lot more ditches.
Sure.
And do the work that municipalities should be doing. But it's frustrating, and it's the second time the government has created a set of rules and said, hey, follow these rules and we're going to take care of it. And they've basically flipped the game board over and got mad.
And without asking for incentives on the front end. I mean,
Exactly.
Normally when the government puts something out there, they're incentivizing people to do it. But what you're finding here is voluntary effort on the front end. And yeah, if you reduce the possibility of flooding, that's a good thing.
Correct.
Nobody's arguing that. But if the government doesn't come through on the back end, then
we lose faith in the government.
Well, that's a fair point.
Well, and look, that is kind of a oxymoron, faith in government. But you have some faith that they're taking all these tax dollars from us, that they're going to do the right thing with it. And my argument has always been, if you're not going to do that, then leave the tax dollars here.
Right.
Let us manage it and deal with it ourselves.
Central's Mayor Wade Evans is with us. So let's talk about what got done, what went into y'all's efforts on flood prevention.
Well, we developed this amazing product called an offsite drainage analysis tool, and we've been able to use that technology to create an early flood warning system for our residents. We put river and stream gauges throughout our city so that homes that have repetitive loss situations or concerns of a repetitive loss, they can monitor the flood forecast through our early flows model. And if they need to lift their couch up, they can lift it up. But also it gives them a lot of peace knowing they don't have to worry because they can see what's actually projected to happen. And so we know we can remove that anxiety from our homeowners. It's better. The other thing is we intentionally dig ditches and we intentionally go clean ditches. And we catch a lot of flack from neighbors who say, well, we can't cut it anymore. Well, the ditch was designed to hold water and carry water to the canal. Right. That's the goal. And so restoring our localized drainage system back to its original design has always been top of mind for me and my administration. If you keep water in ditches, you keep it out of homes. And so your largest detention system locally is your roadside ditches. So we want to make sure we restore all of those. And that's what we're actively doing. Just doing intentional work that government should be doing has helped tremendously. If you think 2 weeks ago when you had the big rain and there was flooding everywhere, Central was fine.
Yeah.
An area that's notorious for flooding, we had no issues.
Yeah, we saw, well, it was the night of the Mercy auction. It was just a deluge. And yeah, we saw flooding like all the way home, all the way from Mid-City out to Sherwood.
Yep. And so that, the goal is do the work of government, do it right, and do it intentionally. The problem is, when we do that and we also do it in concert with the federal government's programs that they put out to help us, and they don't help us. They end up turning their back or changing the game because of politics or whatever it is. And it's just a problem that we've got to resolve. The NFIP, the flood insurance program, there's talk of kicking it back to the states. I don't see how individual states can manage that effectively. I just don't. But
manage the NFIP, meaning like what that's going to help determine rates based off of whether or not you're prone to flood. How would they not manage it?
Well, I think
we understand where we flood better than the federal government does.
Right. Well, I think the bureaucratic infrastructure is part of the problem. So do they take the money from the states and then send it back to the states? I mean, when you do that, you're already taking slices of each dollar because you have these bureaucrat management fees that are associated with every dollar. So that's one of the concerns. And look, that's one of the concerns that the small town mayors, the mid-sized city mayors, and the Louisiana Municipal Association has with centralized tax collections is if we're going to have a centralized tax collection system, does the parish that's collecting it here, right now the parish pulls 0.8% off of what's collected as an administrative cost. If the state is then going to do the centralized collection and charge us 0.5%, is that just skimming more money off of it? And so I know that's kind of a segue into something else. It's hot topic right now,
I'm writing it down to make sure we get back to it because there's a little bit more on the flooding that I want to talk about first. Central's Mayor Wade Evans is in with us. We'll get to centralized sales tax collection in just a second because I think you and I are on opposite sides or potentially on opposite sides on that one. But back on the flooding, you talked about this alert system. What are we talking about here with the alert system? I mean, how much advanced those?
It's do we have 48 hours? We have a 48-hour system. It's called earlyflows.com.
Okay.
They can go to our website and click on it, central la.gov, central-la.gov, and go to our website. And it's at the top of the website, Early Flows, and it goes to every one of the stream gauges that's in our system. And it has a hydraulic model that you can see what's projected, what's anticipated, what has happened. And so it gives people in areas of our city who have perpetual concern that they may get a half an inch of water in their house, which is enough to cause a lot of problems.
Half inch of water is going to remove 4 feet of sheetrock.
It gives them the opportunity to go in and say, okay, look, we're anticipating this, so let's get some things up off the ground to mitigate our risk.
Now, how often when you have that alert 48 hours out and you get everything up off the ground, how often does the flooding come to fruition?
Well, our model is very accurate. So what we find is now that you can see what's happening, you don't have as much concern.
Yeah.
Especially now that we're intentionally fixing our localized drainage system.
So in my mind, I'm going back to 2016.
Yeah, 2016, you can't project. I mean, that's you could bulldoze every house in Central, and Central would have still been covered in water.
Okay. Oh, wait, so 2016 is obviously going to be the first, connection. The second one would have been May of 2021, and that was a flash flood.
Yeah, in May of 2021, we had a few smaller issues in Central, but nothing significant. But since then, we've been really hitting the ground running with the intentional drainage work. So that's the goal. Do the job.
Last question on the flooding end, and that is, how much of this how much can Central do on their own versus needing a team with the parish, team with the state, team with, God forbid, the feds, in order to make sure that flood mitigation is at its peak?
Well, the big projects like the brick process that we're working through with the 85-acre flood control project and the regional detention projects, that requires federal government money. But everything else we're doing locally. I mean, I send crews out on state routes now to dig roadside ditches because we have a lot of rural area in Central that doesn't have sewer, so they use modads or individual treatment plants, and you have to keep the ditches dug because those treatment plants end up, after they go through their filter system, end up draining into the ditch. And if the ditch isn't dug, the sewer can't drain, so it backs up. And so we have to do our job all the time, no matter what.
Well, yeah, but where I'm getting at with this is there's larger projects that go along. Well, we just heard about a project with the Amy River Basin Commission. They're building on some reservoirs out of an old gravel pit.
Yeah, and the governor finally did make the appointment for me on the ARBC, and we need the federal government to give us the money to do these projects because they take so much money in taxes from our citizens already. Send us some back so we can do some good.
Yeah.
But it's hard locally to do a $40 million project when your income receivables are $16 million in a year. So it's very difficult to do those types of projects.
And that's the genesis of my question.
Yeah, and the citizens are very hesitant to want to do a bond where we have debt to do a project that's, it's going to benefit 300 people out of 11,000.
Right. Central's Mayor Wade Edmonds in with us. All right, let's pivot back over. Let's talk a little bit about centralized sales tax. What's your beef with it?
It's not necessarily a beef. There's no uniform system. Look, in East Baton Rouge Parish, we do a really good job. All right. The parish's team that does the collections, they have a robust system to audit things. The issue is in other municipalities, you've got municipalities where the school board may do the tax collection. You don't have a system that's good. The issue is there's not a lot of trust with the state at the local level. And so when you talk about holding our money up, I mean, this is the money that cities depend on, sales tax dollars.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a hesitancy because of a trust issue, and I think we've got to work through that. It's not so big of an issue for me in East Baton Rouge Parish because we have a good system, but we're one of 64.
Right.
And so how many other parishes have this system? I was talking to a mayor from the northern part of Louisiana who's having trouble. A larger city collects his. He's asked that they audit certain groups who are not seeming to pay the same amount, and he's frustrated. He would love some type of system that you can have more accountability. The issue is there's not enough answers to the questions at this time. How long are we going to be before you collect, then remit? Another one is the fees associated with it.
But I think the local fee would go away and be swapped off with a state fee because you can't collect the local fee for collecting taxes if you're no longer the one who's collecting taxes.
I think that's that's another question that needs to be answered.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the parish is under the impression that if the state does this, they're still going to have to collect and remit to us and still going to have to charge us. And so, now we're at one point,
right?
Well, the state would charge. Now, if the state was going to go from the state directly to the municipality, that's a lot easier to understand. But if it's going to go from the state to the parish or to the sheriff or to whomever, and then get divvied up again, well, they're going to have to charge some type of administrative fee to do that. So again, it's not about I'm against it. It's that, look, when we have a large scale shift, we have to have questions answered to put the fears at ease on the municipalities.
Does the money left on the table, where does that, because I mean, as it stands right now, we're leaving close to $500 million on the table in online sales tax collections that we just don't receive because the municipalities don't have the built out system. We have it here in EBR,
yes,
but the municipalities don't have the built out system where, I mean, you mentioned sometimes it's the school board that collects it, sometimes it's the sheriff's office that collects it. But, you know, if Fran working the back office at the Tensas Parish Sheriff's Office doesn't know how to collect online sales tax,
Correct.
and oh, by the way, the business owner who doesn't want to have to file differently for every parish that he's trying to do business in, I mean, there's that end of it too.
No, look, there's no doubt the system needs to be worked on and tweaked. I think the issue, and I think it's a noble cause. I think it's a good idea to look at it and say, how do we fix this? But with all legislation, whether it be federal, state, or local, there's always concerns and unintended consequences that we've got to make sure we mitigate before we just jump straight in.
Mm-hmm.
And so my position has always been, individually as the mayor of Central, I'm not going to come out against this because I don't know enough about it yet to come out against it. And so my position is, look, we're going to be against it as it's written until you can give me some clarification.
Okay.
And so that's the position I think you're going to see across the board. I'm not going to speak on behalf of the LMA at this time, but you know, we had a legislative call yesterday, and the input is mixed. And so the answer is to give us the answers to the questions. Tell me what the remittance time is.
Right. And there's what the remittance time and what your budget looks like before, what your budget looks like after.
Yeah.
Because I would make the argument that the budget's going to go up after. Well, it's hard to inject $500 million and not have it go up.
I agree wholeheartedly. And so, look, again, my position with the LMA has always been to say, guys, look, I don't think we should ever come out against something until we know exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I think we have to have a unified front, and we have to go with it.
He is Central's Mayor Wade Evans. We always appreciate the time, man. Thank you for stopping by this morning.
Thanks, Brian.
We got news, traffic, weather on the way. When we come back, we're going to check in down in New Orleans. Kelly Schulz from Nola and Company going to join us. They've had a hot first quarter down there when it comes to hotel occupancy. We'll talk about it next. What are you laughing at?
I never even got into cooking in Central.
No, you're coming back on next week to talk about that.
All right. It's got to be sooner than Friday because it starts Thursday.
No, I know. I need to go get my
Get
binder.
your book.
And we'll get you down.
The whole reason you probably came in here.
Yeah, hell, I'd have called in for all that.
No, you said you were coming on twice.
I know.
So-
I will. Yeah, I'll come on every damn day. I don't care. I love when they hear my voice. Smiling for the camera. Hey, Mama.
I worked with you. I was the assignments manager at NBC 33, Fox 44, right when COVID hit, until 2021, and we talked many times.
I was ready to
I was the one. I can't
pull
hear.
out my hair at that time. You know, it's
I know.
frustrating.
Well-
I refused to want to follow what the parish was doing.
I know.
I thought
I
it
know.
was ridiculous. I thought it was ridiculous that my police chief went and arrested a pastor. You know, like
We
Look.
were always getting you talking about Tony Spell.
Girl,
That was when
and
Abby
look.
Rocha was a reporter and all that.
I'm in the news all the time now for good stuff,
Right. Which back then, I know.
and that's part of the problem. Every time my police department's discussed, it's bad.
And I believe Abby would mainly go out to you, Abby Rocha. Now
Yeah.
she's with LSU. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. The good old days.
COVID, man, those years were a blur.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much shit went down.
Well, we were talking about the guy from the anxiety
So,
story, and he's like, I can't drive, and I'm thinking some of it's thrived during COVID.
Oh,
Yeah.
people love it. People love not being able to go anywhere and not talking
Yeah.
to walls and shit. Not me.
All right, calendar. I told you we can get a weekly segment, dude. I'll come
That's-
on. Find out.
I don't. If I had that many segments to give out,
Yeah.
you would be first in line.
Find out where you got trouble booking, and I'll come do this.
The problem is we got too many.
Yeah, that's where the show is at right
Hold on.
now.
Good morning, Commissioner. I'm good over here. I'm at the radio station right now.
Talk on a 7-3. Yes. Hi, Kelly. Good morning. We're going to come to you in about 2 minutes.
I'm gonna send you what I was sent the other day.
it's a change to the CRS rating, and apparently FEMA is weighing on not renewing the NFIP. Well, I'm coming out fighting them ahead of time. Right. Yeah, well, and it's funny. I got the notice the same day that Denham Springs and Youngsville put out their rating. And I'm like, man, what a bummer. Text me when you want me to come on.
Your choice. Tuesday 8:15 or Wednesday 7:35.
I like 8:15.
Done and done, sir.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
All right.
Yeah, so let me, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send you that article. Appreciate it. I will. And look, I want to see you this up. I'll apply for the donation.
I thought we were going to have somebody else coming in for Foodie Friday. With catfish.
Who did you think?
You said somebody else yesterday, I thought. No? They're bringing catfish?
As far as I know.
Okay. No, you know what? I'm confusing my own damn self with my show prep for Tiger. Mendorf's is doing that pop-up for 2 weeks.
No shit.
We should get them while they're in town.
Well,
You know how hard that would be, though, to get on?
everybody's crazy about Middendorf's. I don't like thin catfish. Thin catfish is. That's
I like the taste.
Later, Wade. Thank you, man.
Shoot me that text.
We'll do.
That time.
Yeah, we'll do.
But I agree. There's definitely not enough.
No,
meat.
thin catfish means it's all batter.
I've had it before. It's not bad. But yeah, there's no meat in that.
Right. Can't do that. And my thing is, I was raised on Deanies in Bucktown. So.
See, I was raised in Houma. They know how to throw down like really good, you know. So then I go to Middendorf's.
Bucktown.
I know. Well, Austin James is. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to Middendorf's, and I'm like, it's not.
He brags on it because it's thin cut. And I'm like, thin cut means less fish.
I know. He's always bragging on Middendorf's. Always.
Oh. $7:36 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Time to visit with the good folks over at New Orleans and Company. Kelly Schulz is on the hotline with us. Kelly, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Brian. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well. We've got a lot of ground to cover this morning. You know what? No. I know right where we're going to start. The Savannah Bananas, New Orleans showed up and showed out. How ridiculous was that?
It was amazing. Last weekend, it was just a fantastic weekend. And that is because of Savannah Bananas, but also a lot of other events. It was Savannah Bananas. It was their first time ever in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And this organization has such a loyal following. We packed out the Superdome 2 nights in a row. And it was not only people from the New Orleans and Baton Rouge area, but all over the region. People traveled in for this. And it was such a fun show. It was such a great weekend. Aside from packing the Superdome for 2 nights for Savannah Bananas, we had Super Sunday with the Mardi Gras Indians. We had Book Fest. We had New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. And then we had a number of festivities for St. Patrick's Day. So it was just a really beautiful weekend in New Orleans. Hotel occupancy was over 90%. And it was just one of those beautiful spring weekends that really shows off what we do so well, which is hosting events and giving people an opportunity to enjoy themselves, but through really diverse events across many, many levels of interest.
So I marched in the Metairie St. Patrick's Day Parade. And based off of what I was seeing on the route, the Savannah Bananas sold $42 billion worth of merchandise.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I don't think I'm exaggerating there. Everybody had Bananas jerseys, Bananas t-shirts. Like the entire route was more yellow than green.
You know, these Savannah Bananas, like I am just learning about this organization, and I will say that they definitely know about branding.
Yeah.
And they have very loyal fans. And you are not the first person I've heard say that people were decked out in Savannah Bananas gear from head to toe. They had the merchandise. They were there early. They were waiting in line. They were so enthusiastic. And it was just such a great thing for the city. It was family friendly. Just a really fun event. We certainly at New Orleans and Company hope that we can get them back in the future.
Now, did I see the numbers right? It was 70,000 per, or was it 70,000
Yes.
total? 70,000 per.
No, 2 nights or 2 events over the weekend, 70,000 at each game. So selling out the Superdome for 2 consecutive nights for Savannah Bananas, pretty amazing.
They might as well retire. I mean, they're not going to do better than that. Like well, there's no baseball stadium that holds that. So, I mean,
Right.
the venue that New Orleans provides in the Caesars Superdome is one that can't be replicated. I mean, unless we could figure out how to make a baseball field in Tiger Stadium, like I don't know that would ever. They're never going to get those numbers again.
Yeah, you know, we also just announced another big sporting event at the Caesars Superdome, which is happening in July, and that's the X Games Championship. So that's another, sports brand with a very loyal following. So we're going to have at Caesars Superdome, July 24th through 26th. It's a 3-day event. It's 18 competitions. So these are things like skateboard, BMX. You're going to have 100 of the world's top action sports athletes coming here.
Yeah.
And that's another event that'll bring a lot of people here, but also they have a very huge global following. So it'll be streamed for people to watch all over the world.
Well, and this is another one. Yeah, well, the all over the world part, I think, is the big part of this. And we're talking with Kelly Schulz from New Orleans and Company about just being built to host. And this is one of those great examples where New Orleans is going to get a lot of exposure. Not just, it's not going to be Super Bowl level exposure, but you're talking about a time where on the New Orleans sports calendar, you're not really the front page right then. So bring in the X Games, and that's going to change the game overall.
Exactly. I mean, they're going to be coming here after they make stops in Sacramento, California, and also in Japan. I had an opportunity to meet some of the athletes. One of them was a young lady who was only 13 years old, and she is a world famous skateboarder. And she said, I'm so excited to be in New Orleans. And we asked her about what she wanted to eat when she was here. And she said, well, I'm looking forward to eating alligator. And just, these athletes are these incredible, talented people who go all over the world. And even for them, they were saying that being able to compete on the floor of the Caesars Superdome, which is such an iconic venue. Yeah. And there have been so many incredible performances there across sports and music and every other genre. It was really a big deal for them to be able to compete there. So they're looking forward to it. And for us, it's another opportunity to get positive exposure for the city and pack people in during the summer, which is a time when we really need to get folks here.
We're talking with Kelly Schulz from New Orleans and Company. Let's stick with the built to host, the mantra, as it were. What's going on to sell the city right now? I understand y'all are headed to Chicago or just got back from.
Yeah, actually, Walt Leger, our CEO, and several of our team members were in Chicago last night for a customer event. So Chicago is one of those big cities where many people don't realize we actually have a New Orleans and Company office in Chicago. It's a one-woman office, but there is an individual there who is constantly selling New Orleans to our customers in the Chicago area, particularly the big associations that can bring major conventions to our city. So from time to time, we like to go to them. So Walt and Stephanie on our team and leaders from the convention center and also from Caesars went to Chicago and had an event where we could invite our customers to come in and hear what's going on in New Orleans, to sample some of our great food, and really just have that face time with our customer, which is so important. These individuals are meeting planners. They have huge buying power. They make decisions where large organizations are going to go for meetings and conventions all over the world. So they have a lot of choices out there, and we want to always remain top of mind and have those face-to-face connections. So that's what some of our folks did in Chicago last night. And from what I hear, it was a big success.
That's awesome. And the hard part about that success, though, Kelly, is like it's not instant gratification. It's not immediate turnaround, but it's long-term planning for the city on the tourism front.
That is exactly right. You know, our team this year, when you talk about these big meetings and conventions, one of the things our team has booked this year is a lot of the big medical meetings. So we're talking about, 20,000 medical professionals packing out the convention center and the city for things like the American College of Cardiology, American Academy of Ophthalmology, orthopedic surgeons, American Society of Hematology. These are big meetings we're hosting just in the year 2026. But Brian, our team right now, they're booking meetings into 2035, 2040, and beyond. I mean, it is definitely a long-term game as well as short-term.
Unbelievable stuff. We're talking with Kelly Schulz from New Orleans and Company. Oh, yesterday, let's bring it back around to the Dome. Yesterday, outside of LSU Student Union, the good folks from the Hondo Rodeo were out there kind of showing off a little preview of what's going to be coming up in April.
Yes. Speaking of really cool sporting events at the Caesars Superdome, we talked about Savannah Bananas, we talked about the X Games, and coming up soon is the Hondo Rodeo Fest. So this is the first time it's happening. It's at the Caesars Superdome on April 10th through the 12th. And it's basically a rodeo competition, but there's a live music component. So it's a 3-day event. There's a championship level rodeo. There are nightly concerts. Some of the artists that are going to be here include Jason Aldean, Cody Johnson, and Creed. And then there's also going to be sort of a Western-themed street fest that'll happen in Champion Square, right next to the Caesars Superdome. And they'll have food, music, and a lot of family-friendly entertainment. So this is another example of big events that we're bringing into the city to really draw in, many different people from all over the region, all over the country, and really showcase New Orleans while they're enjoying, their favorite sport or their favorite competition.
The map out of this, the way it's the top of the world-class rodeo, and then the concert as well. Kind of it's like a music fest and a rodeo combined together.
Exactly. I mean, what a fantastic weekend to come to New Orleans and see this rodeo, see these big performers, and then also enjoy our culture because, these folks, of course, are going to go to the rodeo, but we hope they're also going to get to enjoy some of our neighborhoods and our restaurants and perhaps take tours of the city or, go to our music clubs around the area. So it's definitely a huge economic boost and something that we're very grateful to have brought to the city, along with our partners over at the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation.
Want to pivot real quick to talk about something that's opening today, and I might be a big nerd, but I think I'm into this. American Revolution, the augmented exhibition. Tell me all about this, please.
So yes, this is you're not a nerd. It's very cool.
Well, I'm a nerd.
The historic New Orleans.
I'm fine with who I am, Kelly. I've accepted it.
Okay. So if you're not familiar with the historic New Orleans collection, it's an incredible museum and cultural treasure in the French Quarter, and we have a great partnership with those folks. So actually opening today is, as you said, the American Revolution, the augmented exhibition, and it is an immersive technology experience. It runs today through January 17th, and it's basically using interactive 3D reconstructions and a tablet, and visitors can explore key moments of the American Revolution. So looking at the Boston Tea Party to the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and also highlighting the role that New Orleans and the Gulf South has played in shaping our nation's history, but doing so in a really high-tech interactive experience with this augmented exhibition. It's really, really cool. We've partnered with Historic New Orleans Collection on this and really encourage people. It opens today, but it'll be on display through January 17th. So lots of time to experience it.
Yeah, throughout the year. I mean, as we celebrate our nation's 250th birthday, I would imagine this is going to be a big highlight throughout the year. Got Kelly Schulz from New Orleans and Company on with us. While we're talking about the 250th birthday, bring us up to speed on Sail 250.
Yes. So we are going to be the first city, actually, that is hosting the tall ships from around the world as part of America's 250th birthday, which is a national event. But from May 27th through June 1st, we're going to have tall ships, U.S. Navy vessels, and celebrations going on. We're going to be welcoming ships from all over the world, actually, and it'll really showcase, again, like we talked about with the Historic New Orleans collection, really showcasing New Orleans and Louisiana's importance to the country. And there is really no United States without New Orleans and the culture and the contributions that we have brought to this country. So this event will be an opportunity to really celebrate that. And then again, showcase, once again, we can do these really incredible events that we are built to host. So people will have an opportunity to tour the tall ship. If you've never seen anything like this, it's really incredible. We'll be welcoming people from many, many different countries. The festivities will begin here in late May, and then they will move on to other cities like Boston and New York to have their celebrations for America 250.
So much more to cover, but we're just straight up out of time. She is Kelly Schulz from New Orleans and Company. Thank you so much, as always, for hopping on board.
Thanks, Brian. We appreciate the time. Have a great weekend.
You do the same. Absolutely. Look, the things we didn't get to in there, let me just run this down very, very quickly for you because I got 30 seconds. North America's 50 Best, talk about top chefs and a whole festival they've got going on. There's an international art exhibition that's coming. There is the Opera Festival, Every Woman's Marathon, French Quarter Fest. The list goes on and on from there. It didn't even highlight a lot of the meetings and conventions that are on the docket very soon. So always appreciate their time. We try to talk to them every month, if not more often than that. Greatly appreciate the partnership that we have with New Orleans and Company. All right, we are due up for a quick break. On the back end of the break, we're going to squeeze in a quick This Day in History. Hour 3 is going to bring us a legislative update and a police update in Baton Rouge as well, as they're getting a raise. All right. Winners. Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to squeeze in, if we even have time that the Leanne Rhymes contest is up, like giving you another chance to win.
When is that?
April 16th.
We'll push on that till next week.
Hey, Mark.
Good morning.
Hey, Mark.
Thank you for making coffee.
I know.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, doing good. There was something I wanted to tell you because between me and Michelle, I update. You use the longer sheet, right, for Eagle?
A lot of dates on it, but
Okay. Were you able to push that blessing of the bike
no, I'll do that
today?
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all day
I
tomorrow.
won't be on the air today.
You're not doing nights tonight? Oh, we got a game.
Yeah.
Oh well, don't worry about it.
My next time on the air is
Sunday
night.
Okay. Cool. No worries. It's not a huge deal.
I'll just open the mic right now.
Go ahead. Just drop Michelle would die. She would run up here so fast.
All right.
Bye, Mark. Have a good weekend.
Ooh. Oh, good stretch. Yo, man. What you say, Chief? How's it going? We got about we got 2 segments before, 2 quick ones before you. So understood. Oh.
With that spot.
Yeah. $7:55, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. About to wrap up hour number 2. Hour 3 is going to bring us State Senator Rick Edmonds with a legislative update. Former BRPD Chief Jeff LaDuff going to be in the house, or is in the house. BRPD looking at getting a pretty significant raise. We're going to talk about that with the former chief coming up in 20 minutes from right now. Also, David's Tiger Express going to be in for Foodie Friday. Right now, though, this day in history, let's get it.
Not a whole lot today, but that means it's going to be a good one. All right. 1854, the Republican Party is founded. It was created in Wisconsin by anti-slavery activists. I cannot believe it goes way back to that date.
What, 1854?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, I always thought that the parties weren't centralized and founded till like closer to the 1900s. But okay, cool deal. Now, this one is pretty cool. In 1965, NASA broadcasted Ranger 9 crashing into the moon on purpose on live TV. Viewers literally watched the moon rush closer until the signal cut out on impact.
Interesting.
That is interesting. Could you imagine? Because back then, there wasn't really a whole lot to watch. So you get to watch this moon just face planting. Okay. 1991, Michael Jackson signs a $65 million deal with Sony Records to produce 6 albums. Absolutely his peak. People say the 80s, early 90s for MJ.
You think?
I think so.
More than Thriller? More than Beat It?
Because you got to think.
Beat It was 1986.
I know, but he's living on that high of that at that point.
I know, but as far as the songs are, I'm like, okay, I'll give you Remember the Time.
Okay.
But like, I don't know. I can't.
Maybe so.
When you talk about stacking up hits, I'll go back to the 70s as well. Dance and Shout. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. You got a point. Okay. In the year 2001, a U.S.-led coalition launches a ground invasion of Iraq after an ultimatum for Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2016, you'll like this one, Brian. It was a rare alignment that had everybody outside staring up. It was a spring equinox and supermoon combo together.
Ooh.
I know. I don't remember that. Maybe I do, because everybody was in a rush to get their glasses.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember this. I do. Okay, what else you have?
100 Days War started on this day in 1815. And 1852, Uncle Tom's Cabin was published.
I had that.
Yeah, and I missed the year, but it was on this day that John Lennon and Yoko Ono got married.
Okay, I had that too. Okay, let's see. Notable birthdays. Spike Lee.
Yep.
Let's see. She's known for her role in Orange is the New Black, Ruby Rose.
Okay.
Orange is the New Black, huge TV show on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I have that's notable.
I got Kathy Ireland. Also got Mr. Rogers.
Okay. Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, from the band Linkin Park. Let's see. Notable deaths on this day. Kenny Rogers.
Yep. Hey, Kenny Rogers died on this day in 2020.
David Rockefeller. Let's see. That's really all I have. Well, Isaac Newton.
So we'll add Boston Red Sox pitcher and New Orleanian Mel Parnell died on this day in 2012. Also, I got to go back to this day in history real quick. I missed a big one. And shout out to Metro Baton Rouge Then and Now Facebook page.
Okay.
This day in 1945, Alessi's Grocery changed its name and its business. Pastime Lounge opened up today.
Oh.
In 1945.
I've heard of Pastime Lounge.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. National days today. It is National Astrology Day, but I like this one better. International Day of Happiness.
How about the first day of spring?
Oh, well, the first day of spring, too.
We're just shy of 2 hours away.
No supermoon, but.
But we're just shy of 2 hours away.
At 9:46. Yep. To be exact.
Super specific. All right, we're taking a quick break. News, traffic, weather. State Senator Rick Edmonds is going to kick off our third hour. Former Chief Jeff LaDuff in the house as well. Looking forward to that conversation. Big ups coming to the BRPD. Well deserved and overdue. We'll talk about it next hour. Damn it, winners. What is wrong with me? This is the third time we've missed it in the segment.
It's Friday. Blame it on Friday. I know.
I don't know how I'm going to get everything done today. This would be ridiculous. Yeah. A 10 a.m. meeting about Fado Donate, which is next weekend.
To be at Texas Club early today. They're doing that outdoor show that you've been probably seeing. For the first ever outdoor, they have like a huge stage in the parking lot.
Okay.
It'll be interesting. I know.
That's what the Texas Club needs is parking further away from it.
Because the way they have it, all right, so if you're looking at Texas Club, standing on the street, they have that stage all the way to the right, blocking the whole parking lot.
Hey, Rick. Hey. I'm gonna have my producer call you back in 2 minutes from our hotline number. This is my cell. So she's gonna call you from the studio line, okay? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hello, good morning. Hey, it's Talk 107 Fruit. We're going to come to you in about 2-ish minutes. Okay. I know that was on me. I didn't catch it in time.
You're all right. Damn it.
Space enthusiasts fanning out across the Ohio, Pennsylvania countryside, hoping to find remnants of the
So Rick Edmonds has a no, right?
Yeah.
Mortgage rates were up for a third week, reaching a 3-month high. According to Freddie Mac, the average for a 30-year fixed loan has climbed to 6.22%. Rising rates are giving hopes for the spring home buying season. The conflict with Iran adding uncertainty for house hunters already stretching to affordable purchase. By the way, mortgage rates dipped below 6% in February. Meantime, stocks are heading for the fourth week in a row of losses this Friday. Investors are trying to manage their money in light of war that has shaken up energy markets and has reignited fears over inflation. And the Federal Communications Commission has granted approval for Nexstar Media to complete its $3.5 billion acquisition of TV station operator Tegna. The combined companies will have 265 TV stations in 44 states, reaching 80% of American households. Nexstar has committed to expanding its investment in local news and programming. Courtney Thunderbolt, Bloomberg Radio.
Now a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Oh, Alan might have the right answer here. So who has it right? Because we asked for who has it right when it comes to what the aliens are going to look like. Byron says Mork and Mindy. That's funny. Alan says Mars Attacks. Yeah. Mars Attacks might be the winner. That might be the best one of the morning. Where'd he go? Edmonds. All right. 8:06. Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane. Rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Starting off your 8 o'clock hour at 53 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. Got a busy third hour for you this hour. We're going to have State Senator Rick Edmonds on with us in just a quick minute. We lost connection with him. We're going to get him back. While I have a quick second, let me remind you about the folks over at Industry Makes. IndustryMakes.org is the website. IndustryMakes.org. This is their mission is to be a trusted source of industrial communications while advocating for future investment and industrial growth, which is, by the way, the backbone of Louisiana. Not just talking about employing our neighbors, but also making the things that we use every day, from the shoes on our feet to the tires on our car to the, for that matter, the roads under the tires. I mean, it's all industry gets this done. And there's constantly a voice in opposition of said industry. Well, Industry Makes is the return serve, the return volley that says, this is what you say. Well, this is what the facts are. And then they'll run with that. If you want to learn more, if you want to become an ambassador, visit industrymakes.org. All right, joining us now on the hotline with a legislative update, a full 2 weeks in. We've got State Senator Rick Edmonds on with us. Senator Edmonds, how are you, sir?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well on this end. Okay, how's the first 2 weeks been?
I would use the word hectic. It's been it's always a little hectic in session, but these first 2 weeks, I mean, it's been real quick. Everybody trying to jump in on a lot of committee meetings, just a little elevated. I'm not sure why it's taking that personality, but that's where we are.
Well, how much of that is because you're going to see more passion? Well, this is my theory. You're going to see more passion behind what's being pitched because the governor has kind of stepped aside and said this is going to be a member-driven session. So you're going to get passion because you're going to get individual legislators' projects. You're going to get what they're really going after, not just carrying something for someone else.
I guess that's possible. I'm not sure that. I'm not sure. I just know the difference. This is my 11th year, so I've done a bunch of these.
What's been hot so far as far as topics are concerned, or individual legislation, or anything in particular garnering everyone's attention or ire?
I think that this past week we had some PBM issues that caught some attention. We've been looking at that for years, Brian. I think back several of us started in the last administration on this particular subject, and we were trying to assist the independent pharmacies, try to get a fair rate and whatnot. So that's garnered some attention, and rightfully so. I've had a couple of bills that have really garnered some attention. I think they will continue to do so. We didn't get to hear them on the floor. I think we'll hear one or both of them on Monday. If you remember, last week there was a guy in Michigan that was going to drive his car into a synagogue and had it full of explosives, apparently going to, destroy any and everything he could. So this has gone on a couple of times here recently of people trying to, take over a worship center or place of worship or the service itself. So we have a SB 306 we're doing is it creates the crime of obstruction of the freedom of worship. So we're clarifying in the state of Louisiana that you can't come in and destroy our church services. So I think that's going to catch a pretty good bit of attention. May even catch some nationally.
I wouldn't doubt it because this would be getting out in front of something that I'm always intrigued by the genesis behind legislation. And oftentimes it comes from a situation that happens somewhere else, and we would like to work to prevent that from happening here. And this is one that I think when you talk about the amount of national attention that was garnered when that situation happened, I can't imagine this won't get at least a little bit of CNN's airtime.
Yeah, well, and I think it should. Obviously, and I look at it this way: is that you can go to a physician and that doctor will tell you, hey, I want to go ahead and prescribe this because I want to get ahead of it. I want to.
Right.
This is what's going to help you physically. Sometimes legislatively, we're reacting to something that's happened in our state or in our communities, and then we're trying to fix after it's already occurred. So a bill like this gets us out in front. You're correct by assumption. We're not having or haven't had fortunately, the last few days, we have not had someone do this in Louisiana. It could happen overnight. But we want to make sure we're out in front of it for our churches and our pastors and affects our families. In that case in Minnesota, there were children that were crying, trying to get back to their parents in the worship center that those rioters had stormed in and taken over the worship service. It's crazy. We just can't let that happen.
We got State Senator Rick Edmonds on with us, talking a little bit about the session as a whole and a little bit about what he's working on. Does this dovetail with all the I'm trying to remember if this was a separate incident or the same incident that had Don Lemon in hot water?
No, two different ones.
Yeah,
One
that's what I thought.
Yeah, Lemons was in Minnesota. That's when they were protesting the ICE things going on in their area.
But the same bill would apply.
I'm sorry?
Your same bill would apply here.
Yes.
Yeah.
There'd be a criminal offense when you go in. And look, if a journalist wants to cover something in a church, we had that happen multiple times. That's not a problem. It's not a First Amendment issue. We don't mind someone coming in if they're just going to have permission to come in. They're going to take something going on you may have a guest in your service. They want to film it or interview. Fine.
All right.
But you can't lead a protest into a church, take over the church service, threaten the people, intimidate people. That just can't happen.
State Senator Rick Edmonds. We got about 3 minutes left with Senator Edmonds. We're going to get you back on regularly throughout the session because you're working on a lot. Right before SB 306 is SB 305. This is one that has me like I'm a cheerleader for this one. You're talking about aligning college degrees with the jobs that are applicable to them. Give me the quick description of this one.
Well, my hope and goal is that we change the way that we think as educators. We become, so we look at and not just a graduation rate, Brian, which is important, but we look at the day one they walk into the school, and we want to get this into the K through 12s as well.
Sure.
But we're creating pathways so that student knows, here are the jobs, here's sort of the pay scales of where they are, and you get this degree or you get this high level credentialing going for your life, and this is what's going to happen for you. You know, our higher education institutions have to look at this, the whole picture of not just with a baccalaureate degree, but we want to make certain the critical services like welders or plumbers or electricians or high tech, intelligence people, that they're prepared and ready to go. There's some great jobs, and this economic boom that's going on in Louisiana is phenomenal. We're right at $100 billion worth of investment, which is great. But the threat is we can't provide the workforce. So if we don't start thinking different, this is a realignment of our thinking as educators. So we want to help career paths change for, I hope we get dropped down to probably 8th grade and work this out. And I think we will. I think we'll work with Department of Education, Dr. Cade Brumley. And I think all the stars are aligning for us to completely rethink how we prepare people for success in Louisiana.
No, absolutely. And a lot is being done on that front. And this particular bill is going to be a huge leap forward with that as well. There's two parts to that equation, though, too, Senator Edmonds. And while we want to make sure that our current workforce is up to the task with the jobs that are being created, there's going to be a little effort to court some people to come back home again. Is there anything on that front that has caught your eye this session?
Well, I think that there's a couple of things that are sort of helping that process. One is the economic boom development. Another is we've been working on taxation in the state of Louisiana. So we're bringing corporate rates down. We're bringing personal rates down. And then our education numbers in large are from K through 12. Man, it's great. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah. We're not 49.50. We've jumped up to 32 on national average on literacy for after COVID. We're number one with growth for fourth graders. Numeracy is at 16, I think. So I think those factors, Brian, it's not one thing, it's multiple things. If we had terrible education or if we have terrible infrastructure, well, all of a sudden we're starting to advance in taxation and all those. I think people then look up and go, hey, I think Louisiana may not be a bad option.
Yeah, you got to have school worth sending their kids to, and you got to have car insurance they can afford to get the kids to said school. So it is a multifaceted equation. I appreciate the quick hit this morning. We'll be back in touch with you very, very soon to get an update on how things are moving. He's State Senator Rick Edmonds. We always appreciate the time.
Thanks, man. Have a great weekend.
You do the same. We are at 8:16 at Talk 107.3 FM. I'm already running long for the hour. Let's go ahead. Quick break. Come back. We got Jeff LaDuff is in the house. He joins us next. Come on over, man. Whoop. Just threw my pencil. Just caught the side right there. Thank you, sir. Been awesome. How about yourself? Yep. So big announcement yesterday, huh?
Yeah. On two fronts. Police and
EMS. Yeah. Well, EMS are next, though. They're not. It's not here yet.
Here.
Yeah.
You know what took a little bit of time is we don't have all their numbers yet because some of those jobs have to be reclassified. With Baton Rouge, everybody is under civil service, police and fire civil service. Some of those folks who are.
We're always on Facebook Live. 819 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got to hustle because we've already eaten up 3 minutes of Jeff LaDuff's time. Promise you 8:15 and we're running behind. Former Baton Rouge Police Chief Jeff LaDuff is in with us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing very well. So you were on hand yesterday for the big announcement?
I was.
All right, give us the lowdown, man.
So, as soon as the mayor got in office, he made a promise that he was going to look at pay raises for public safety. That was his priority.
Yeah.
Public safety, blight, homelessness.
Yes.
And he's working on those fronts. So yesterday's announcement was that police and fire are going to be receiving some of the biggest raises that they've ever received in our department's history. And that's a good thing. A lot of people have called me over the last, 12 hours or so talking about it. And here's the thing, there's a reason that we need this. It's truly a reason. We're losing officers. We're down to the number of officers that Chief Morse has. Is the same number of officers when I left almost 16 years ago that I had in uniform patrol, right? He's like almost 170 officers down from where we were, all those years ago. And, I think that's a big step. EMS, we're losing folks on that front. So to have those pay raises, to get people driven back to the city of Baton Rouge and on board with our hiring processes is just going to be good for our city all the way around.
You mentioned EMS right there, but the raises that were announced yesterday, police and fire are first out the blocks, but EMS is not far behind here. We had some recalculations to do on some of the positions to get those reclassified, but hopefully they'll be announced on Wednesday as well for introductions at the council meeting. Okay. Now, this was part of the mayor's mission, and it was a very strong part of the mayor's mission. However, from the day he took office, he's been faced with nothing but financial constraints.
Right.
Nothing but, little duct tape and mirrors on the budget had been holding it up with federal funding, ARPA funding, disaster funding, and eventually all that runs out. So how do we reconcile 15% raise on the one hand with the budget constraints on the other?
So salary savings, our taxes did better than we thought. And you got to remember the council, we realigned some insurance, right? So we seeing better savings than we thought there. Sales tax performed better than the projections were going into 25. Projections were at one level and they came back in a little higher. So, seeing those kind of returns gives us hope for what the future of Baton Rouge looks like.
Let's talk about this from a competitive standpoint, specifically on the police side, because they garner the headlines the most often when they have the shortage in officers, and we see the same shortage in officers down the road in New Orleans. And when it comes down to it, there is a competition there.
Sure.
Do you want to be a police officer in Baton Rouge, or do you want to be a police officer in Gonzales or Denham or wherever? How does this raise affect that balance sheet?
Well, I can tell you that we saved an officer already. There was an officer scheduled to leave to go to another state because of the salary that they were going to start him at. That officer has then since rescinded his acceptance of that based on just yesterday.
That's fantastic.
So we've gained an officer already, right?
Yep.
So it is competitive, Brian. This is, some people say that the luster of doing this job has gone away. No, it hadn't. You're just going to market yourself to the biggest market, to the one who's going to pay you the most.
Right.
And we see it happening. We see folks going to other states. We see people going to, look, the state police is an attractive job.
Yeah.
And we are all looking for the same people, same caliber of people. We want the brightest and the best to serve the city of Baton Rouge. We want the brightest and the best on those EMS wagons serving the parish of East Baton Rouge Parish. So, yes, it is very competitive.
As far as implementation is concerned, we got to get through the Metro Council first.
Yes.
I assume you've done some talking already, a little lobbying behind the scenes.
Sure.
What's the vibe over there? What are you?
I think everyone is ready for this. Let me ask you this. If we went on Government Street and a police officer stood up and did this, why do you stop?
Because the police officer said so.
It's the social contract that you have.
Yeah.
It's not the uniform. It's not the guy. It's the social contract, right? So we have a social contract. And when we talk to our council members, they are very big on this end. Baton Rouge deserves highly motivated, highly dedicated criminal justice and emergency medical services personnel. That's what they deserve. the people who do the jobs deserve those folks support too, with a livable raise where we can work one job, where we don't. I know what it's like to ride that motorcycle all day, then go to work, and then go work extra duty that night. Miss all those things with your family. It's time that we pay our folks that are in the public service arena what they're worth.
Former Baton Rouge Police Chief Jeff LaDuff is in with us talking about the as of now proposed BRPD pay raise. Roughly 15% is what we're looking at here. We've seen under previous Chief Paul, you got a little small amount here, a small amount there, doing what they could along the way. Talk about how big of a jump this is. It's not just like a cost of living increase.
No,
this is a legitimate number.
This is a recruitment and retention raise, right? So we had trouble getting people to come in. Remember, earlier this year, we had to cancel an academy in Baton Rouge because no one wanted to come here.
Right.
Everyone was going different places. So we have front end loaded the pay so that we are attractive to those people who want to come into the profession. That's the recruitment side. We have to retain those people that we have, right? We need those on the back end so that they can mature the group that's coming in, raise them and teach them the proper way to do this job. So we also have spread out and increased the pay for sergeant, lieutenant, captain, deputy chief, and chief, all the way through. So not only is it front end loaded, it is also attractive throughout the career.
Are we seeing, since this is comparative to other places around here, part of it is comparative to other places around here, are we seeing this willingness and dedication by other administrations to make this move as well?
I hope it does.
That's true.
I do. I think that, look, I remember when this billboard was on I-10, I said, would you give your life for $6.40 or 80 cents or whatever it was an hour?
Yeah.
When we were trying to get the union off the ground and get livable raises and pays back then. I think this will spur the conversation across the state that will make us competitive in public safety in all genres, in all areas.
Implementation wise, assuming this gets past the Metro Council, which we're all hoping it does, how quick's the turnaround to go from proposal to bank account?
Probably they'll see the increase on their checks late May or early June.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
That is. I was expecting something like the beginning of next year, but that's
No,
quick.
This year.
Very, very quick turnaround. Now this is all part of. While the pay raise is going to be is a big deal, this is also part of a greater push to make sure that morale, the support of the community is all behind our police department right now. And as the assistant chief administrative officer, what else is being done within the mayor's office to help sure that we respect and love our BRPD?
So putting it's equipment, it's the training, it's having AEDs. We're working on AEDs right now, having those in the units so that when we get to a call, it's life-saving. We're doing the Narcan, we're doing the blood stop, we're doing, the chest seals and all of those things. Look, we had the Baton Rouge Police Department's award ceremony last Friday. I haven't seen it out in the media yet, but I hope the chief puts out just the award after award for life-saving, that, the heroic acts that took place in 2025. It was just incredible.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff that I don't think the community realizes that we're doing. Things that's going on with EMS and, having automated CPR machines now on our trucks, and the director of EMS is pushing right now to have an automated CPR machine on every EMT wagon and fire vehicle, fire truck in the parish. Those are life-saving tools, man. When we get to those situations and those guys get out with the skills that they have and the technologies that they have, it's a win for our community.
Do you have hard numbers? What 15% looks like in actual dollars?
I don't. Not with me today. We are meeting in a little while, and we're going over some of those numbers.
You're talking, when you talk 15%. Hang on. For a minimum pay for a police officer, $40,906. With the proposed, it would bump up to 58.
58.
That's just, you talk about how changing that is within your own personal, budgeting and whatnot, within your own personal economy.
It's life-changing.
It is.
It's life-changing.
And by the way, this goes to scale. And the mayor's office put out a graphic with rough numbers. I wouldn't hold them to these numbers right now, but put out a graphic with rough numbers, and we'll have the full breakdown for you next week as well. But it's monumental. But it's not just the numbers; it's the gesture too.
It is. But with that comes an awesome responsibility.
Oh yeah,
it comes an awesome. We have to let this community know that we appreciate, because it's the mayor's efforts that's getting this to the council,
right? And
it's going to be the council that approves it when that comes, but it's the citizens that's paying us. It's we the people's money, right?
Yes.
So we have an awesome responsibility to those folks, and we have to say thank you every single solitary day.
No, 100%. Timeline wise, on the Metro Council, do we know when this is going to be on their agenda?
It'll be introduced on next Wednesday.
Okay.
And it'll be up for a vote on the 8th of April.
Okay, 8th of April is the vote. He is former police chief Jeff LaDuff. Greatly appreciate you coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you
Great
for a couple
seeing you
minutes.
all.
Likewise. We were running a little bit long there. Missed ABC News. I don't care. This was more important. We'll catch our local news, traffic, weather. When we come back, a little Lenten menu for Foodie Friday is next. Renee says Jeff is great. I remember all that he did during the Derek Todd Lee era. John says on Facebook, the raise is a tremendous tool to retain officers. My brother worked at BRPD for 13 years before he left for Austin in 2017.
There you go.
I can guarantee if this pay raise would have been implemented at that time, he would have never seen Texas. Yeah. So that's 100% it.
Brother,
Thank you so much. Always.
We're going to win.
Yes,
we're going to win.
Yes, we are.
Listen, you got to work on your shooting skills right here, man.
Bro,
Look.
No, hang on. In my defense, Wade Evans was sitting right there. I had to shoot around him. So
we're not on camera. We're not on. Can they hear us?
No, kill.
I've told you.
He just keeps reaching in this magic box.
I've told you when my little gas station will surprise people, man. I got the best crew you could ask for.
Do not sleep on gas station food.
And of course, and then some people like to really douse their stuff in cream. So extra cream.
So good. All right. Let me forward the pick to Brie Lynn. So.
I can smell the seasonings and the spices.
Right.
Holy crap. Where are you located?
I'm on the corner of Hooper and Jor in Central.
Oh yeah, my friend lives in that in one of those little neighborhoods, the Richie Rich neighborhoods
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
I used to go to the bar all the time out there. Body Skull.
Yep.
I know. You smell like.
It doesn't matter where I go.
No, you're right here on that mic. So we're gonna talk for a little bit, run down what y'all do, run down what you brought in today.
Okay.
Then when we go to break on the air, I try everything on Facebook Live, do the little review, and then we'll plug the location one more time on the way back in.
Perfect.
So
Just if that would make anything easier, and I got menus and stuff if y'all want to keep them around and all that good stuff. So up to y'all.
You want to do our winners really fast?
yeah, we need to do it. Yeah. 836 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Foodie Friday coming up in just a little bit. Actually, mentioned Foodie Friday. Last week we had the folks in from Southern Palate, which is coming up this weekend. Brie Lynn. We were giving away some tickets to that. We already got some winners.
Yes, we do have some winners.
Who do we got?
Let's open up our text thread.
Yeah.
I'm actually going tomorrow, so
You're
I'm
going?
getting so excited. All right, I'm going to run through the list. Deborah Todd and a friend, Matt and Ange, loyal Facebook listener and on air. Heather Butler and a friend, going to be heading to Southern Palate. You want to give them a little taste of what's in store for tomorrow?
As there's 30 different booths with 30 of the top chefs from around, and they're bringing in chefs from not. This isn't just got a couple of bands gonna be playing. They're gonna have specialized cocktails mixed by a premier, and I mean premier mixologist. This isn't just somebody pouring Jack and Coke. We're talking about like a legit mixologist. Like I've been. Y'all remember the Breaks was over there? That guy, Alan, is his name.
Oh yeah,
and yeah. He's awesome. And he's creative, and it you will be surprised by the drinks that are out there. So that's coming up tomorrow. Do we have any more to give away?
We do. If
Okay.
people want to still go enter to win, it's pinned on top of our Facebook.
All right, right there on top of our Facebook is where you will find it. We got a couple more tickets to give away for Southern Palate coming up tomorrow. Right now, though, there aren't many places in the world where you can turn to a Foodie Friday and bring in a gas station and
I'm
just
ready.
kick the doors in. We got Brant in from David's Tiger Express. How are you, Brant?
I'm doing well, man. Great morning.
Now, yeah. So, backstory here for because there's no smell-o-vision on the radio, but Brant walked in while I was speaking with State Senator Rick Edmonds, and I just stopped in my tracks. I lost my complete train of thought when I started to smell everything that you brought in today. So, thank you so much for coming in.
Of course.
David's Tiger Express. Tell us a little bit about it. I mean, you know, it is a gas station.
Yes,
but
sir.
Y'all take pride in the food you put out.
Oh yeah, my family's been taking pride in it for a long time. We're going on third generation store now. So grandparents started it. My dad's the current owner. I'm running it now. And I got a crew of ladies, man, who are passionate about the food they make every day.
Mhm.
As you can see right there, man, it's always a good time. It's fun every day.
So, what are some of your outside of we're here with a bunch of Lenten friendly items, which is awesome. But year round, what's the most popular?
Year round, one of the most popular dishes we do is a chicken pasta. That's like a very good one for any type of event. But I really love our lasagnas we do in store.
Mhm.
But we'll do just about anything you ask us to do. Gumbos, etouffees, spaghettis, jambalayas, whatever you need, we can do it.
Corner of Hooper and Jor up in Central. Here's the second Central guest we got today. We had the mayor on a little while ago, and I appreciate him for connecting us with you. The corner of Hooper and Jor, very centralized location in Central. You're not going to find a more hopping intersection.
No, but it's the perfect intersection for it.
So, but that we talked year round. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on during Lent, because you've brought in quite the spread over here.
Yes, sir. So Lent, we like to be a little special, of course. You know, we want to make sure that everyone gets their fixings, especially on the Friday.
Right.
So today we got fried codfish, fried shrimp. We have a seafood stuffed bell pepper, It's essentially just a seafood jambalaya, and it's stuffed inside of a half of a bell pepper, and it's topped with tomato sauce and cheese. Our seafood stuffed baked potatoes. Basically, we just part out the potatoes, we put it in a big bowl, and we kind of mix it up in almost like an etouffee mixture.
Okay.
Restuff the baked potato, top it with cheese, and we have an Alfredo sauce we put all over the top of the potato, and we add a little shrimp on there for you too. So it's almost like a full meal, just not half shell of potato. Right there, so this is one of our very specialty items. This is the crawfish casserole.
Crawfish casserole.
Crawfish casserole. So this is something we do for Good Friday specifically.
Okay.
And it's pretty much just a kick on a jambalaya, but it's just a crawfish jambalaya with breadcrumbs, little cream of celery, nothing too crazy, but it is a twist on a way to do a jambalaya.
Right.
And then right here is our seafood cornbread dressing. This is one of our secrets in the store. It's just cornbread dressing stuffed with seafood, and I promise, cool stuff.
See, the hard part right now is we wait until the break at 8:50 before I dive in and taste everything. So that this is gonna be a rough 8 minutes for me to have to like smell this the entire time and not dive in. We got Brant David in with us. David's Tiger Express, corner of Hooper and Jor up in Central. So let's talk a little bit about up in people's foodie game, and that's the whole point of this, right?
Yep.
So let's start with the simple fried stuff before we get over there. Walk us through process. Fried shrimp. What are we doing?
Fried shrimp, man. I mean, we like to keep it real simple out there. You can use just about any fish or shrimp batter. Personally, I use fish batter on my shrimp. And a really good trick is to make sure that your shrimp is nice and wet before you go to batter it.
Yeah.
And you want to pick a nice good temperature, 325, 350. You don't need no more than 5 minutes, and the shrimp are ready to pop out. Same thing with the fish, same process. Make sure your fish is nice and wet before you go with the batter. Some people like to put, mustard coat on their fish and stuff and drop it in the batter. But as long as it's nice and wet, batter it up, drop it in 7 minutes.
So talk about that for just a second, because a lot of people use a mustard as a binder to make sure everything. So is that really necessary as long as you got?
It's not really necessary. It does depend on the batter. If you have more of a softer type of batter, you're not going to need a mustard. But there's some batters out there that are much more hardy. And
right.
You want that real sticky binder on there so you don't have any of the fish showing through the crust.
And there are some things out there where the mustard helps enhance the flavor. Does it change it with the fish?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, it really does, start just be preference at that point. But I don't think it's necessary. And if you have a really good batter, like I said, we use a lot of Louisiana products.
Yeah,
you're not going to need it.
We got Brant David in from David's Tiger Express, corner of Hooper and Jor up in Central. Lenten specials throughout. This is quite the spread he's brought in for us today. Want to go back to the shrimp real quick, because I find that what is the biggest mistake people make when they try to fry shrimp on their own?
Overfry it.
Yeah,
a lot of times they overfry it, and seafood can be a scary thing to get into because you don't want to serve someone something raw.
Right.
But I promise, a shrimp does not take long at all. Even like a boiled shrimp, same thing, does not take long at all. 5 minutes in the fryer is done. No longer.
With the and going back, you had said. You said codfish today. We're not eating catfish today. We're eating codfish today. Are there differences when preparing between the two? I mean, or is a fish a fish?
A fish is a fish, essentially. It does come down to preference for taste. Typically, we've always liked to work with cod. We do find that it's less messy in the kitchen.
Okay.
And it's a lot easier to work with back of house. Like those come in as fillets, and our guys at night, they strip them one fillet into 3 strips. We find that stripping the fish makes it, easier to cook a whole batch without having softer pieces or harder pieces.
Okay. So one of the things about codfish is it's a cold water fish.
Yes.
And I'm not going to try and sell anybody on the health benefits of anything fried, but when it comes to like the fish oils and whatnot, the things that are actually good for your blood pressure and whatnot, you're going to get more of that from a cold water fish than you are from a catfish.
That's what I use. I use the term cleaner fish.
Cleaner. That's a good answer.
That's how I use the term. It's a cleaner fish.
It smells so good. All right, let's move over to. I know we're not going to get any secrets out of you on the seafood cornbread over there, but if we could walk through the stuffed peppers real quick, because that looks like something I could accomplish. It looks great, but it looks like something I could accomplish at home.
It's so easy, man. Look, you just get a nice case of bell peppers and you cut them in half, and now you have basically your shell for your mixture. That mixture is nothing more than a seafood jambalaya.
Right.
So you make your jambalaya at home with chicken and sausage. Take the chicken and sausage out, throw shrimp or fish or crawfish tails, whatever seafood you like at home.
Yeah.
Throw it in your mixture, and then you just pack it down, stuff in that bell pepper, pick your type of tomato sauce you like and cheese, run in the oven for a little bit, there you go.
About 350, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 350.
So the jambalaya is already made and done.
Yes,
correct. So
correct.
you're not on the prep end of the jambalaya.
Correct.
You're talking about a finished product on that end.
Yep.
Then when you stuff it in the pepper, now you're just getting the jambalaya to soak up the pepper and the pepper to soak up the jambalaya.
That's correct.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yes, sir.
And you've got a what kind of cheese is that on top?
That's just shredded cheddar and shredded mozzarella.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Moving over to the potato. That looks fun. I don't know if I would. Maybe it's just the cream sauce on top that's intimidating me. But what goes into making that?
Again, it's really not that bad. And you take your potatoes right there. That's just 8 potatoes cut in half. So you get, or it's 4 potatoes cut in half. So you get 8 servings. You want to take out some in the middle of the potato. You don't want to go all the way down the bottom. You don't want to bust the skin. That's the secret. You don't want the juices to fall at the bottom.
Sure.
And you take the potato and you take whatever kind of mixture you want. You don't have to make an etouffee sauce or anything like that. You can use a simple cream. You can use an etouffee base from Oak Point or Walmart. And you mix it up in a bowl real good. Get you a nice little, not solid but not too wet mixture. Pack it back in that potato. And you top it with every cheese you like, whether it's mozzarella, cheddar, or even Parmesan. And then the Alfredo sauce, it's just that. It's just whatever Alfredo sauce you like. You can go get the canned stuff.
I was going to ask about that. I mean, because making an Alfredo sauce is difficult. So just buying from the jar?
You can buy it at home. Just buy it from a jar. Make it easy. I mean, that's you can't spend all day making a sauce every day. But
no.
Yeah.
But it's like that, because that to me, that is the intimidating part. I mean, the actual meat of it, the heart of the dish is actually the easier part, unless you're, getting it pre-made. We're talking with Brant David from David's Tiger Express, corner of Hooper and Jor. Now, these items, while they are Lenten specials, are they on the menu year round, or is it just this time of year?
They are. We don't have them on our actual catering menu, but as I tell any customer, if there's nothing on this menu that you don't see, just ask for it, and we will make it. And we have some type of recipe to make it happen for you.
All right, let's talk catering. I mean, look, it's baseball season.
That's right.
It's no shortage of tailgating going on. We always try to talk about lightening the load as you're going out there to enjoy the game. Go out there to enjoy the game. As the weather starts to get warmer, you don't need to be sweating over pit all day long. Walk me through a little bit about what y'all offer on the tailgating and event catering side.
Anything from chicken tenders, desserts, our famous Mississippi mud pie that always goes really well over with people. We do salads. We do sandwich trays, which feature ham, turkey, roast beef. We do whole pieces of fried chicken. We can also do that chicken smoked on the smoker for you if you'd like.
Hello.
That's something that it's really easy for my crew to handle. Like I said, I got a special crew out there. And
now, but see, quantity wise, what are we looking at here? Because like when I think David's, I don't picture y'all having the ginormous kitchen in the back there. But I'm looking at this menu. Y'all can get a lot done.
Yes, we've done breakfasts for over 500 people before. So we also do full scale breakfast, grits, eggs, homemade hash browns, the whole works. We've done hundreds of people before, and I've delivered it. My team's delivered it. I've had 15 hot boxes on a trailer. We're nothing short for us.
We got Brant David in from David's Tiger Express. I'm keeping one eye on the clock right now to make sure we're staying on time. I'm also looking at these prices, and I'm not going to ask you to quote prices on the air, but this is remarkably affordable.
Yes, we
very much so.
We know that it's affordable. We really try to keep it in that area. For us, it's only fair. Like I said, we just love to work, and we just love to be able to make people happy. So when they order from us, they get a pan of something. Now, if you're ordering for 1,000 people, it might look a little bit different.
Yeah.
That's just how it looks. But we try to keep it nice and simple for people to call us and say, I need this done. And this is the price, nothing crazy. And they can pick it up if they want a delivery, depending on how far. It might be a little delivery fee, but nothing more than that.
We got break coming up in just a quick second. I do need to remind you about the folks over at 5-Star Printing and Signs. Printshop5.com is the website. 271-4096 is the phone number. Get a hold of Danny Paline and his team over at 5-Star Printing and Signs. They're here for your business all the time. But since this is an election year, we got closed primaries coming up in May and June. We're going to have full elections coming up in the fall. It's going to be a busy ticket. How are you separating yourself as a candidate? You're calling Danny at 5-Star Printing and Signs for the yard signs, for the big signs, for the door hangers, for the brochures, for the mailers. He covers it all. He works with you, collaborates with you, makes sure your message is out in front. 5-Star Printing and Signs. All right, I get to dig in now. What am I trying first?
It's up to you. I mean, if I had to really sell you on something, like I said, our seafood cornbread dressing is fantastic.
Okay.
But man, the potato is always
I'm gonna do a little bit of everything on a plate, and some cornbread dressing. That one for sure.
Right now, though,
And this is the jambalaya one.
That's the jambalaya.
Ooh, grab a fork real quick. So I can
Oh
have the,
my God.
I know.
Should I have bought utensils for y'all?
No, we got plenty.
Okay.
So all this has shellfish, correct? Except that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. Good to know.
Correct. Cool. I get to stare at this all day, and I'm a seafood allergic person.
Oh,
I am too. I'm allergic to shellfish, so that's why I asked. The only thing I can eat is your fish, but that's okay.
Yeah. I know the feeling.
It's horrible.
It's
No,
horrible. It's horrible.
The one thing I miss is a fried shrimp boy.
That was full seafood alert. Like I couldn't have even fish for a long time. And I grew out of that one. I started doing the allergy testing stuff and the shots.
They did the blood work on me. She's like, you are highly allergic to shellfish.
So they were like,
I can have mussel though. I can eat oysters.
yes,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah, that's crazy. I know, and that's not even like my favorite thing either. Like,
I'll eat raw oysters.
Yeah.
I can't do raw.
Nah, I can't do that raw either. Not my thing.
A sampling of everything.
I think I've always been allergic because when I was a kid and my mom would do crawfish, I would start sneezing. I'm like, Mama, my throat feels funny. And I was like a wee bitty girl. And then the older I got, she's like, we need to get you tested.
Yep.
All right, let me get a piece of the catfish.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited.
Let's see, not catfish cod.
Correct.
I will though make a happy plate because my boys can't eat it.
Call Tax Solutions now and get some help.
That fish is good.
Thank you.
Program called the Fresh Start Initiative. Our team can make it easier for you to pay your taxes, avoid tax liens, and get a fresh start. Sometimes you just need a second chance.
I called Tax Solutions now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions now.
So I hear Gordy do y'all's commercials all the time.
Yes, he's been doing our commercials since my poppy. Over a decade, I have to be.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah.
Been up there for the steak before. So he was advertising the steak for some time. I'm like, what kind of bullshit is this? Like, but no, it's legit. Y'all are good.
A little bit of everything for my babies. Because this is going to go quick. When we put it out there, come and
You want to try some?
Oh, there's good.
It's all shellfish. So, naturally.
Well, no, cod's not shell.
I know.
Actually, yeah, I'll be back. Oh my God.
That's what I'm doing.
Thanks to TMS therapy at Neurojust, a minimally invasive
What
treatment.
the hell? I almost need another plate. Look, I'm going to take half of mine.
Side effects of medication.
No, go off. Yeah, I just need a bite of everything.
Oh my God.
Full faith in my ladies there because I can't even try it.
Start your healing journey today with your free
I
consultation.
know.
at
And
Neurojust.
my boys love it.
Yeah.
They love shellfish.
Yeah.
So anytime we go out to eat,
225.
I'll let I'll choose the seafood restaurant for them.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell the server, I'm like, I'll just cook mine separate.
Just make
you
sure
know?
mine's safe, please.
I know. And we'll normally go somewhere. You know, the one place I can't go because they have like literally one thing. Is it Pomerantz? Yeah, they don't even have a burger on the menu. They have like a steak.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, look, if we're gonna go to a seafood restaurant, can you make sure I can eat one or two
Yeah.
things on the menu?
That's something else over there.
Yeah.
I make sure that my kitchen's pretty conscious about that, but you know, some people will mix the fryers and stuff and they don't really care.
Right.
But I've gone this far for some people. There's actually one group of old ladies who come in who are like, if they have it, they'll die. They'll actually heat grease on the stove for them and just do it on the stove for them separate, just so they see me do it. It's fresh. They have ease of mind, all that good stuff.
That's really sweet of you. I'm not that bad. You know what's crazy? I can eat the potato and the corn and the sausage out of the crawfish pot. I can eat the meat.
Really?
Yeah, I can eat all the fits in it. I know, it's the craziest
That's
crap.
crazy.
It's crazy. So really, they don't need to put mine separate. I just don't chance it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm good.
All remain in good condition with light volume all around, at least for the moment. And if you see traffic trouble downtown,
My boys would be so happy.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I started Blindster in my garage over 15 years ago to make custom blinds easy and
Not fair.
affordable for everyone. You
That's
measure,
really
you
good.
install, and you save big on custom blinds. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
No.
This report comes
That's the same seafood jambalaya in both, right?
The jambalaya is a little bit different.
Okay.
It's a two different mixtures, but it essentially is the same.
Okay. Because the flavor is so different when you add the tomato sauce on top of it, and you fully pop the pepper. So good.
My favorite thing in the store is the regular cornbread dressing we do with chicken. I mean, if we made that.
Foodie Friday rolling right along. We have 4 minutes left here at Talk 107.3 FM before we have to hand off to Moon Griffon and the Moon Griffon Show. I've tried most of it. I haven't got everything. You brought too much, Brent. Brent David from David's Tiger Express is in with us for Foodie Friday, enjoying a little bit of some Lenten creativity. I was thinking we were just be going fried fish and fried shrimp, but Brent brought so much more to the table today. Okay, I want to start off with the fried shrimp, absolute perfection. A little bit of a pepper pop there, but as far as flavor is concerned, you're not overdoing it, like trying to do too much with the batter.
Nope.
No, it's the simplicity of it and just the meatiness of the shrimp kind of rules the day right there.
Yep.
Love the fried shrimp. Now, codfish, I feel like this is made to be more malleable, like made to be dipped in something. Is that about right?
Yeah, a lot of people like to go for cocktail sauce, tartar sauce, or even a remoulade sauce to go with it.
Yeah, because I mean the cod itself is no matter how you're cooking it, the cod itself can be adapted to just about anything out there.
Correct.
It's very adaptable.
Yep.
Flavoring. The seafood jambalaya. I'm getting black pepper and the Trinity right at the beginning. And that just there's a didn't think I was going to say this. There's a freshness to that.
Yep.
Like that just it brings out like you could tell the amount of love that went into making this specifically. Now, I was asking you during the break, is the seafood jambalaya and the seafood jambalaya in the stuffed bell pepper the same thing?
A little bit different. So, of course, the seafood jambalaya is in that casserole. Actually, the crawfish casserole jambalaya has it's like we put cream of celery in it, and that's what actually changes it a little bit.
Okay.
Whereas the one in the bell pepper, we don't add the cream of celery to it. That's just straight seafood jambalaya with the tomato sauce on top. That's why it's just two different flavors, even though it's the same thing, just with two different sauces.
Okay. Now, saving the best two for last here. You undersold the potato. The way you have the seafood mixed in with the potato, the way the potato changes the flavor, the way it changes how it hits your palate is amazing. I mean, there's a whole lot going on. I highly like of everything I've got right here. It's gonna go the seafood cornbread first, potato very close second.
Okay,
that's like a 1 and a 1A right there. Now, not going to give away any family secrets on the seafood cornbread right there, but just the general synopsis. What's the normal reaction y'all get from it?
The normal reaction is always a pop, kind of how you gave me when you tasted it. It's just it goes so well, and we put that on. So we'll leave our codfish in the whole fillet, and we actually bake that fish, and we put a scoop of that seafood cornbread dressing on top of that with the cream sauce. We do that in store. Sometimes we do that. We're not doing it this Friday, unfortunately, but I think next Friday we're going to do it. But that's always like a wonderful thing. It just pairs so well with everything.
No, it absolutely does. And by itself, it's amazing on its own. I would eat this as a side on its own for sure. We got about 40 seconds left. Give us the rundown. David's Tiger Express. What can where specifically Hooper and Jor, but what can folks expect over there today?
Over here today. So I got a menu right in front of me. So today's Friday, March 20th. And today, if you come in starting at 10:30, we'll go all the way to 8 p.m. We have crawfish etouffee. We have fried fish, fried shrimp, red beans and sausage, hamburger steak, shrimp pasta. We have 10-ounce ribeyes, seafood stuffed bell peppers, and the seafood stuffed potatoes that they tried this morning. So we'll have them all day long.
You know where to find them at David's Tiger Express. Brant, I appreciate the time.
Yes, sir.
We're done. Moon's next. Oh.
Moon's here.
It takes over. It takes over. Right
Yeah, Moon's here.
So we're still on Facebook. Guys, seriously, the potato of the world. It's so awesome. All of it is fantastic. Just the potato really stood out as the best in class, if you will, aside from the seafood cornbread. We'll be back at it Monday. Franz is coming in for a bonus legally served. We're going to break down some legislation from a legal perspective. We'll have Moral Dilemma Monday. Breck Room is coming back. We'll talk to Moon. We got the whole thing coming your way. We'll see you then.